VOD crowd starting. Welcome in, VOD crowd. We just finished the tech issues to get this working. And as I was going to say, the unfortunate downside to streaming this on an actual console. So since I am streaming it for my actual PSTV, and this is my actual digital copy of the game, the major downside is I do not have access to save states. And save states, for anybody who wants to try this, are so freaking nice. Playing this with save states is way less painful than playing it legitimately. But because I can and will, I'm going to play this legitimately, and therefore I don't have access to save states, which might cause problems. PSTV/Vita underrated console. It definitely died way faster than I think it should have, but oh well. Fair enough, Pelican. I'm going to probably, at least we're starting with Saber route. Saber route, you know what, we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this in a second. So real quick, this game's difficulty is deceptive. I can talk about it right now, actually. So when you start the game, you get a difficulty selector, normal or easy. What the game doesn't tell you is this isn't actually you selecting your difficulty at all. Because as far as I can tell, I've explained this before when we streamed this like years ago, but for the sake of VOD crowd and anyone who wasn't there may never seen this game before, what this difficulty selection actually does is allow you to heal for free in dungeons. That is it. As far as I know, that is the only difference this makes. It does not adjust enemy stats or anything else. Normal mode removes all healing fountains except the very first one from dungeons. Easy mode adds extra healing fountains in the dungeons. That is it. That is all this changes. But they make you sound like you're actually selecting your difficulty here, and you're not. You select your actual difficulty in like an hour. For the sake of a first playthrough, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the healing fountains in. It'll just make it easier to level. I won't have to manage my money with items and stuff. So don't worry. When we get to New Game Plus, when I eventually do the other kind of playthroughs, because we might play through this 3 times if we want to see everything. And at least on those, I might switch it back to normal, because at that point, I'll have tons of money and code casts, and I won't need to worry about the in-dungeon healing that much. Yeah, with Narrow, I could do normal first run if I really wanted to, but I might as well just keep the healing fountains on. It just makes it more convenient. Anywho, are you ready for one of the most interesting tutorials from a narrative standpoint in any video game ever? I think this tutorial, storytelling wise, is like unmatched. It's so crazy the way it tells the story. All right, moving on. I have to read a lot in this game. My voice is going to die by the end of this, just in case you're wondering. It's a bright sunny morning. The air is filled with the joyful laughter of students. You're damn right it is. Hold on, let me bring up my my fancy schmancy don't have to think, it'll tell me where to go guide. All right, moving on. There's more activity than normal in front of the school gate. A crowd is forming as students are being called over. I will never when I first started up this game, I had never seen Fate before. Let me start with that. This was my first experience with Fate. I have never been able to forget how this kind of prologue tutorial section ends. It is very impactful. It stuck with me for years and years and years, and I still vividly remember how this section ends, and it's incredible. Anyways, moving on. I wonder what's going on. When I peer into the center of the hubbub, I see my friend and student council president, Issei Ryoto. My man, that's an horribly fuck you. What? That this was my first experience with a Fate franchise? Yeah, probably. Good morning. Lovely weather we're having, don't you think? Why do you look so surprised? Dude, when I first got a PlayStation Portable, I had no idea what games it had, and it admittedly didn't have a lot. This is just one of the ones I happened to pick up, and yeah, it was my entry into Fate. I think I went to go on to watch Fate Stay Night and play Fate Go and a bunch of other nonsense afterwards, but like, because then I eventually read this visual novel. I got into Tsukihime after that. Fate Grand Carnival is still probably my favorite anime of all time that I can't recommend to anybody because the only reason that anime is good because I understand all the references. Like, Fate Grand Carnival, the OVA series, that is peak, top anime experience. Nothing is better, but you literally cannot recommend it to another human being unless you know they will understand at least half of the references. That's the only reason it's great. Anyway. Went into this after watching the OG anime. Ah, see, that's fair. This game is horrible. Dude, it's such a messed up game. This opening segment is iconic as fuck. Let's just move on with it. I wanna get to the end of this segment to show off just how fantastic the storytelling in this opening is. Why do you look so surprised? We announced at last week's assembly that this month the student council would strictly enforce school rules. I've been tasked with performing inspections to ensure the students are in compliance with school rules. Now it goes without saying that everyone is subject to inspections and even old friends. Don't worry about it. This is honestly not a bad entry point into the franchise. You're able to understand it relatively well, all things considered, even with this as an entry point. At least I certainly was. Fate Stay was your first intro back in freshman year anime club? Makes sense. I don't remember how old I was when I picked this up. I want to say it was relatively new, so it was like the mid 2000s. Now then, uniform inspection time. Collar, check. Pant hems, check. And your socks? Check. Because this is the start of like an alternate universe Fate franchise. If you've ever seen Fate Extella or Fate Extella Link, those are effectively like sequels to this. This is where this kind of Fate timeline thing started. It's a weird alternate universe. So starting here is fine. Next is the contents of your bag. Notebooks, textbooks, pencil box. Not even a whiff of contraband. Your nails are evenly cut and your haircut is sensible. Thanks for pointing out that I am a generic NPC. Indeed, quite remarkable. You're a model Tsukimihara Academy student. Someone like you ought to consider a future in student government. You'd be perfect for it. Ah, but I'd never try and coerce you into joining the student council. We aren't like that. Now then, off to your classroom. Enjoy your day. Thanks, pal. Before I can reply, Mr. Diligent Student Council President is on to the next student's inspection. Hungry for gossip on their way to their classrooms, the students jabber about the inspections. Things are always so gently bustling in the morning. Another peaceful beginning to another peaceful day. We're just in the ideal world where school is awesome and everything is great. Don't you just love going to school, guy? Following all the rules, being a model student, we're the best. I think pretty sure we have to go to the class. The Dynasty Warriors Styles game, yes. That is Fate Extella. It is a distant sequel to this. Fate Extra CCC is actually the second game in the franchise, but that one never got officially localized to the West. It works in Persona. What, a generic everyman? Surely he won't acquire a harem. No, that would never happen. I think our classroom's on the second floor. Because we're a second year. Of course we are. Hello, newspaper club lady. Actually, I don't even think that's her. Fine, two-way. Here's our class. Chimes raise curtains on humble days, precious as a handful of gold dust. As I enter class, I see Mato with a bunch of girls. Why he's so popular is a mystery. Hey, when did you show up? You're so quiet and dull that I didn't even notice you. Oops. Okay, for future reference, anytime a character is voiced in Japanese, I am not going to read out their lines. I didn't realize he was voiced until it was too late. But for future reference, that is my plan. Anytime a character has voice acting, I am not going to read it. Shinji Mato's such a fucking asshole in every Fate universe, dude. Even got the generic school layout, you're sold? Exactly. No matter which universe it is, Shinji is the token dickwad of the story. It's a little early for so much abuse, but as it's Shinji Mato, it can't be helped. His arrogance is almost palatable. I don't know what he's saying, but it makes all the girls squeal with joy. Actually, let me rephrase. His popularity isn't so much mysterious as it is unnatural. Oh, of course, it's not voiced this time. I was just doing a little math tutoring. This stuff is beyond easy, for me anyway. Wait a sec. Hey, Mato, isn't the answer to this question totally wrong in every way? What in the... I'm the one who solved that. There's no way it could be wrong. But, look at this. Since when did 2 + 2 = 5? And we're high schoolers, by the way. Just reminding everybody. I'd never make such a stupid mistake. It's all your fault. You're the idiots here, not me. As Shinji raises his voice, the girls all panic and run back to their desk. Shinji is a prick in every universe, damn right. He is the token asshole of the Fate universe. Unless you're in Grand Carnival and then he's often the butt of jokes, but we don't talk about that. Ugh, I hate dealing with the proletariat. The proletariat? What is this kid talking about? Especially when they think they're my equal. It's really pathetic that these worms don't know their place. That's why I like you so much. Even though you're boring, you know not to steal my thunder. You're the ultimate sidekick. This guy's such a refreshing asshole. Boy, Shinji flashes me a smile. It's weird how I never take offense at the way he talks to me. By some strange twist of fate, he and I are friends. How we became friends was... You know, I can't quite remember how it happened. But I want to say we met in spring sometime, but the bell for class rings as I try to recollect. And who should fly through the room, or fly through the door, but our homeroom teacher, Miss Fujimura. Freaking proles, man. Yeah, what the proletariat? What the hell is this kid talking about? Whew, I made it. Good morning, And thud. Miss Fujimura trips, falling painfully onto the floor. As she lands, her head strikes the corner of the platform at the front of the classroom. The classroom goes dead silent. Every student's attention is focused on the same thing. Classic Taiga. The best part is she wasn't even rushing into the classroom this time. She was walking slowly and still managed to trip and hit her fucking head on the podium. Again, how does she manage to trip in the same place every time? Listen, you, this isn't the time to be making stupid jokes. You're right, she isn't moving. Did she get knocked out or something? A few brave students get out of their seats and crowd around the still comatose Fujimura. Hey, Miss Fujimura! Miss Fujimura? Are you okay? What? Huh? What's wrong, everyone? Hey, class is about to start, so get back to your seats pronto. Miss Fujimura, jumps to her feet as if nothing had happened. It's almost as if the memory of her sudden and violent trip to the floor was totally erased. As this happens all the time, no one seems to notice or care enough to say anything. She was moving, just in a convulsing sort of way. It's fine. No one gives a thought to how odd it is for this to happen every single day. Nope, no one questions it. Not even a little bit. The scene playing out before me seems to never change from day to day. The same exact lessons, the exact same subject, the exact same content. Today... Sorry, that was gross. Today we're going to study the biography of Dr. Peaceman, a talented physician who... Miss Fujimura is conducting class today the same way she does every day. You may not know, but when I was reading good. When I was young, an unknown pathogen was the cause of a serious epidemic. In fact, outbreaks were common, but now most illnesses are cured using nano thingamajig. And FYI, I'm still young. This will be on the test, so be sure you don't forget it. I mean it. Her ensuing laughter stopped short at her eyes, which seemed deadly serious. Just as everyone is about to call Fujimura out, the bell signaling the end of class ring. Alright, that's all for today. Be sure to study hard tonight, and don't forget those important points I told you about. Miss Fujimura is young. That's the important question we have to answer on the test. While today's class wasn't all that boring, it is a relief when the bell rings. As the bell signaling the end of the day sound, students begin to break off into small groups. Thank God that's over. I was getting sick of all the busy work. Being a student sucks. The worst part of the whole deal is having to attend these stupid classes. You're still here? That's unusual. You don't have any plans, like a date or something? I'm just messing with you. I know you're too big of a nerd to ever get a date. I mean, you're just going to your dork club, the journalism club, right? Well, seeing as you're boring as stale white bread, your life is exactly as it should be. You know exactly what your role in life is, and you stay there. Well, catch you later. See you in class tomorrow. Fucking prick. Hey, the editor-in-chief of the journalism club was calling you a general meeting. You better go. All right, bye. Hello, editor-in-chief. Look who's here. It's the newspaper club's ace. Gotten any leads? What? Did you forget? You have to write an Unsolved Mysteries of Sugimahara article. Come on, I told you yesterday. There isn't very much time left before the deadline. My nose is running. Well, whatever. Your work's always good, so I'll be able to leave this in your capable hands. Finally, you can get a job. That is how Final Fantasy III works. Yeah, you no longer have to play as freelancers. Good job. Jeez, my benevolence is like a Black Panther running around. Yes, that doesn't make sense. But that's that. I've done some of the investigating. It's your job to do the rest. Don't look so surprised. There's a method to my madness. Okay, so about the first preview edition, the one called Gateway to the Paranormal. So listen, there's supposedly an entrance to this spirit world at the rear of the archery range. Nice, Noma. One time, a male student who got bullied a lot was told to pick up trash there and vanished. Everyone's totally convinced that there's paranormal activity going on back there. Isn't that scary? Ridiculous? Anyway, go sniff out the truth. Leave no stone unturned. Your nose and eyes are the tools of the trade for a journalist. Got it? You're the mysterious one. Your reply should be yes, bam. All right, hop to it. Oh. I tried insulting her and it didn't work. Oh! Yeah, I'm not scared. I'm just scared. Checks out. What's up, Kratos? Out of the blue, a feeling that something was moving behind the door overcame me. As a rule, students aren't allowed inside of the supply room. It might just be a rat or something. For some unknown reason, I find my eyes drawn to the door of the supply room when the door is suddenly and violently thrown open. It's a goth guy! Staring? Without warning, a man appears out from the shadows. Dressed in black with a dour expression, the person in question is very intimidating. But that sense of intimidation is immediately replaced with extreme discomfort and unease. A sudden, overwhelming sense of danger gives me goosebumps all over my body. His cold, blank stare sends chills down my spine, as though he's marking me for death. For some reason, it feels as if he's deciding whether to break my neck or skin me alive. Hope you're doing alright, Kratos. He begins to mutter under his breath, while at the same time he reaches out with his right hand. Dude's collar is way too popped. I just realized, I sure hope the text isn't being blocked by my camera when the NPCs are talking. I'll keep an eye on that. The chills running down my spine gain intensity as waves of nausea and vertigo wash over me. Whichever comes first. I feel like a rabbit watching the wolf draw near. Maybe this isn't just raw terror. I think he's holding something that's making me feel this way. Luckily, it looks like, for the most part, my camera cuts off where the text is, but I'll pay attention to it just in case. That won't affect the VOD at all, because obviously my camera and the chat won't be on the VOD, but for the live folks, I'll keep an eye on it. Yeah. The note of disgust in his voice is obvious as he slowly lowers his hand. The paralysis that seemed to take hold of me suddenly fades away. I can probably crop my camera ever so slightly for this. Can we do that real quick? Oh, that's the capture card. I need to crop the camera. I can just, I think if I hold Alt, I can do that? And then you're not actually missing a whole lot? Because that's just part of my desk and the camera cord? The man continues. Oh, did I read the last part? I'll just read the whole damn thing. Sorry, I'm repeating part of this. The note of disgust in his voice is obvious as he slowly lowers his hand. The paralysis that seemed to take hold of me suddenly fades away. The man continues to look down on me with those dead eyes of his. Yeah, that's probably better. It shouldn't be a problem now, after I cropped that little bit of the camera off. And then this one isn't voiced for some reason? Okay. The campus is about to close. If you have nothing else to do, I advise you to go home now. まだ何か本日着任した教師のクズキだ The man who introduces himself as Mr. Kuzuki turns and heads back into the supply room. With that, the final bell begins to chime, signaling the end of this school day. Everything begins to progress as normal, as if nothing out of the ordinary has happened. But I'm still sore and slicked with sweat. An all too real reminder of what happened. Wonderful! We now have a teacher with obvious murderous intent teaching at our school. I'm not sure teachers should have that, but you know what? I'm not going to question it. Because we don't question anything. We're just supposed to accept everything as totally normal. Obviously. Oh, hi, Tyga. You caught me in the middle of cleaning. Those archery club kids don't even unstring their bows. Don't question it, Avalanche. We're not supposed to. The worst is when they leave their arrows stuck in the target mounds. I usually make the kids do it, but there's no club activities leading up to exams, so I'm doing it. God damn it. So I'm doing it, she says. Continue to cut this off. Nailed it. Now I'm an itty bitty scrunched camera. I don't have any room. I'm being smushed. Fine, don't worry about it. As long as we talk to the hot teachers, we don't question anything. I agree. Huh? An entrance to the spirit world? That's just a rumor. It's not real. Exams are right around the corner, so don't waste your time on stuff like that. Go home. Shoo. Shoo. What appears in the archery range isn't an entrance to the spirit world, but Miss Fujimura. Well, I can't say I'm surprised she's behind one of Tsukimahara's mysteries. It's kind of fitting. I'll report this tomorrow so I can go home now if I want. A day will pass if you go home. There's literally no reason to do so, but I guess there's one optional event we can check. I think I'll poke around the campus a little longer. If I want to leave, I should head out through the main gate. There is an optional scene that we can view right now if we decide to not automatically leave. Whenever possible, I will be doing these optional events. Should be... oh, no. Here we go. Another familiar face to Fate fan. Hey, Sakura. Oh, it's you, brother. I heard that you've been skipping out on archery club's morning practices lately. Why haven't you been showing up? And where do you get off taking a break without my say-so? I get it now. You've been going to their house again, haven't you? Yes, I have been going there, but I just wanted to help and... Let me guess, you felt you were obligated to, right? Jeez, why must you be so damn naive? Anime-ass floor lane pair, yep. Wait a sec, what was that just now? Anyway, if someone gets hurt, just leave them to suffer. Just do what I tell you to and things will be a-okay. I mean, it seems like people get some kind of perverse thrill from getting in my way. To force one of my dear little sister to miss valuable practice time? That's not how it is at all. I wasn't forced to do anything. I wanted to help. Why is it so wrong to help those who need it? Ha! Isn't it only fools and the weak who manage to get themselves hurt somehow? And why help anybody out? Will that person ever pay you back or help in return? Of course they won't. If you think otherwise, you're an idiot. I won't be used by anyone. Better to treat others as cattle. And isn't it time for you to admit to feeling the same way? But for me, that option... Stop right there. I don't care what you have to say. Stop going to that house, Sakura. Got it? It's fun because the context of all of that is sorely lacking if you haven't seen Fate Stay Night. Oops. My first time through, didn't have any context for that, but it didn't affect my experience, so it's fine. But admittedly, the context for that is just in Fate Stay Night. Alright, bye. Am I gonna save my progress? Yes. Because we've made so much progress, we got through the first school day. Go us. Humble days, as precious as gold dust. But where are the buyers? As I walk into class, the girls that normally flock around Shinji Mato aren't there. Shinji seems to be in a bad mood today. His usual posse of girls is keeping their distance. I'll ask him if something happened. What? Like I'd tell you if anything happened to me, which it didn't. Nothing happened at all. Hey, you know that Ice Queen, Rin Tosaka? She thinks she's so much better than everyone else. At first, I thought she would be the only one who understood how lonely it is at the top. I tried talking to her yesterday, but I got nowhere. Maybe I just intimidate her or something. I might have lost a few points for getting violent, but girls who talk back to me get slapped. Okay, again, this guy's kind of an asshole. Not even just kind of. He's like the worst in every Fate anything. I'd never hook up with such a violent, stuck-up bitch like that, no matter how hot she is. What a waste. She'd be perfect if she'd just keep her mouth shut. You agree with me, right? Right? Looks like there's some tension between Shinji and Rin Tosaka. Knowing Shinji, he probably hit on her and got shot down. Asshole. Major asshole. That's the one. And why'd she take a shot at me? I thought she was going to spinning star kick me next. For the record, I'm pretty sure he's the one who got his ass beat. He continues to whine under his breath. I can only imagine how sleazy Shinji was being with her. Normally, his super aggressive approach works, but obviously it didn't with Rin Tosaka. Life's more interesting when it's got little shakeups like this. As if right on cue, Miss Fujimura barges into the classroom as the bell sounds. Whew, I made it. Good morning, everyone. All right, no one's absent, and since there are no announcements, let's just start homeroom. There she goes again. And as soon as she turns to reach for the chalk, she trips and falls, as she always does. As she falls, her fingernails drag across the blackboard with a horrifying sound. And thus, another typically mundane day begins anew. Catches her, I wish. And though the Great War had finally come to an end, regional conflicts still persist. Despite the suffering of the previous generation, battles are still waged 30 years on. Ugh. Standing behind the lectern today is the school's newest teacher, Kuzuki. Though he's supposed to be teaching math, his lesson seems to have gone off on a tangent. Wait, this is supposed to be math? Now, instead of armies, attacks in ever greater numbers are being carried out by terrorists. So if 20 terrorists plant a bomb and only 10 of them get out of the building, how many terrorists are there? No, I'm kidding. Sorry. Can you imagine? Fucking word. Anyways, and in an attempt to suppress these terrorist groups, with that, the bell signaling the ends of classes sound. And with the end of the day here, the tension in the classroom drops immediately. Who falls like that after walking in a room? Taiga Fujimura, obviously. Alright, let us in here today. Oh yes, before I forget, there's an announcement from the student counselor. Recently, a rise in the number of slashing incidents has made the surrounding area dangerous. With that in mind, keep any detours to a minimum and head home as quickly as possible. Get home quickly? Good advice, but I still have to finish a few assignments for the journalism club. Why I'm so gung-ho about investigating the school's 7 wonders is a mystery even to me, but it seems important for some reason. I have to turn in yesterday's report. I'd better go see the editor-in-chief this evening. Oh, the main character is constantly like, I'm gonna do this. I have no fucking clue why, but I feel very motivated to do that thing for some reason. Hey, guess what? I just passed this gorgeous girl on the stairs. Could she be a new student? What? I'm sure you're just talking about Rin Tosaka from Class B. Rin Tosaka? I've never heard of her. You've really never heard of her? Pretty, athletic, smart, classy. Or a stuck-up Miss Perfect who all the guys adore and all the girls despise. It wouldn't be unrealistic to call Rin Tosaka the most popular girl in the whole school. Are you pulling my leg? Girl, you're so dense you probably wouldn't feel it if I pulled your leg anyway. What? I'm not dense. Much. But she wasn't wearing her school uniform. She was wearing red. How do you explain that? I don't know. I hadn't noticed. Huh? Maybe I'm remembering wrong. You would? Come on, let's hurry to our club. Yeah. God, I haven't had to read this much in a fucking hot minute, you guys. Oh, our club's ace. Did you find out anything yesterday? Interesting. So it was Tiger. Of course there's no entrance to the spirit world. Thanks to you, the article will be great. Are you ready for the next article assignment? The next unsolved mystery is Yesterday, there was a girl dressed in red on the rooftop. Rumors about Little Red Rooftop are spreading. Go find out what this is all about. Gosh, I wonder who it could be. A journalist lets the news guide their feet to the rooftop. Almost like the conversation just prior to this was talking about a girl in red. Crazy. I turn the doorknob and the metal door opens slightly on its hinges. As a rule, no one is allowed up on the roof, but I can see someone's elongated shadow. The vibrant colors set off by the setting of the sun is enough to take one's breath away. Under the now blood-red sky, a single girl looks out onto the town that spreads out below. Like a figure out of a painting, the girl seems to shine with the same red glow as the setting sun. Irene. You're pretty too. What does that mean? What are you talking about? Look at her spouting cryptic stuff. I feel like the text boxes are a whole lot longer than the voiced text. I'm not quite sure if that last statement was supposed to express disgust or disappointment. As she finishes speaking, a faint smile forms on the girl's lips as she slowly turns in my direction. Her unwavering gaze makes it seem like she can see things hidden to others. Her eyes seem to shine with an intensity that rivals that of the fiery red of the evening sky. Huh? Did she just... Was she about to call me an NPC? Oh. She did in fact just call me an NPC. Continuing to mumble quietly to herself, the girl quickly walks my way. Yes, ma'am. Unexpectedly, her finger reaches out and touches my cheek. Looks like someone who wants to take over the world. Perhaps. Mumbling to herself, the girl disappears without a trace. It's like no one was ever there at all. She vanished? There or not, her form has been indelibly burned into my mind. Oh, you're still here. It's almost time to leave school, so you should prepare to go home. What's wrong? You look a little pale. The sound of Issei's voice pulls me back to reality. I must look completely dazed and confused. Maybe I'm tired, or... I'll talk with the editor-in-chief again tomorrow. In any case, I think the course of wisdom for now would be to go home, like Issei says. But no, I'm not going to do that yet, because there's another optional scene. Nah, I should probably look around the campus a little more. If I'm gonna leave, I should head out through the main gate. But first, we must go to the nurse's office! Again! Is it not the nurse's office on day 2? Oh, yeah, there he is. That's weird. Why won't it open? What? You haven't left yet? Wait, don't tell me. Nah, never mind. Losers like you shouldn't be on campus right now. Who knows? You might get whacked by that killer. Don't say I didn't warn you. What are you up to? Shut it, you! It won't mean anything to a nerd like you, but I... Wait, why am I explaining anything to you? Just get the hell out of here already. He won't talk to me any further. What if I go in the nurse's office? That's not the nurse's office. Is this the nurse's office? Oh. Guess not! Well, this is fun. Back out to the main gate. We save again. 2 days in. And it's already been like, I guess the recording only started like 40 minutes ago, but still. We're coming up on break time. I want to get through this before break happens, but admittedly, I think this opening segment usually takes like an hour, and we started a little bit late. I enter the classroom. Once again, Shinji Mato in the seat next to me has a full house. I'm telling you, you don't have any talent. Give up before you look like a... Awesome. You look like a retard. So you know what he said to that? What did he say? We're dying to know, tell us. Yay, early 2000s. Yeah, no kidding. This one gets all boo-hoo when he says, I'll keep practicing until I get better. At least I get better than you, who skips practice. Sorry, I have to laugh. Anybody knows you can't practice your way into being a genius. If he wants to practice something, he should practice not sounding like a tool. And the guy's not a total maggot, but he's still trash that needs to go find a garbage can. That moron. People aren't created equal. Even people who are born above average can never reach the same heights as the naturally gifted. You must be so talented if you don't need any practice, Mato. I feel bad for that kid. Trash can't help being trash. You should learn to stop dreaming about being something better. So for anyone who doesn't know Shinji, do you hate him yet? He's the worst. The bell rings in response to the gaggle of girls, or in response, the gaggle of girls shuffle off to their own seat. While we wait for the teacher to arrive, I get caught up on what Shinji said for some reason. Whether or not Shinji has innate talent, I think it's pretty clear that I'm a nobody. A nobody with no goals. I mean, when I try to even think about the future, I get overwhelmed. Okay, mood. As long as I keep plodding along, someday I'll reach my totally average future. Yay. That's what happens to everyone, right? Are there actually people who break the pattern? How? I have no idea. For me, today is just another ordinary day. Good morning, everyone. There she goes again. Clunk. Oh wait, she didn't trip for once. The pattern is broken. Suddenly, my heart accelerates. Each beat painfully strong. It's as if my body's on high alert. I know it's not a reaction to Miss Fujimura. No. Well, kids, this is a little out of the blue, but today I want to introduce you a new friend. It's him. That blonde boy is the one who's causing my body's fight or flight instincts to prickle. Go on, Leo. Introduce yourself. Huh? Well, Leo, you'll be attending school with these people, so I'm sure they'd like to know who you are. I mean, we kind of do. He steps forward, and then in a louder voice says,
僕の名はレオナルド・ビスタリオ・ハーウェイ。いずれ世界中の誰もが僕のことを知りますが、今はあなたたちの学友です。それでは皆さん、しばらくよろしくお願いします。
Everyone is shocked into silence. The classroom is silent. There aren't even any jabs at his eccentric manner of speaking or any coos over how pretty he is. Instead, the entire classroom is enthralled by his regal bearing. Entranced even. Shinji's words come to mind. This is what it means to be on a different level. None of us plebes... Wow, they really put that word in there. None of us plebes could ever hope to reach the level that this new kid lives on. It's not overextending to call his very existence transfixing. Like deer in headlights, we're immobilized by a presence far brighter than our own. His natural place is above us, looking down as our king. How did someone like him end up here? It must be a mistake. Anyway, everyone, please make Leo feel welcome. Then, Leo, if you would please take a seat. It looks like the third seat in the second row from the right is open. Will that be okay? Leo. You're addressing me. I see no reason not to allow you to call me Leo, as it didn't feel awkward to hear it from you. If you have the chance, I'd very much like for a delightful woman like you to visit my country. Damn, he just started flirting with the teacher immediately. What? Jeez, don't joke with your teacher. Yeah, dude, she's already worried about the fact that she's in her late 20s and single. Take your seat, Leo. I won't smack you since, well, it was kind of flattering of you to hear you say that. You just had to assert dominance, damn right. Of course, I appreciate your diplomacy, Miss Fujimura. Then the boy gave a kind of easy smile that only kids can. That simple smile washes away the tension in the room, and people even begin to smile themselves. I think he's not so much a king as a prince. He may be above us, but he also has natural charisma that draws us up to his level. However, it seems that there is at least one person in class whose mileage varies. I don't like him. Flirting with the teacher already? That arrogant little twerp. Shinji's clearly not happy. If you have any questions, ask anyone in the class or myself. Come to me first. There's no need to be shy. Damn, Fujimura. Eel woman. Yes, I understand. I'm pleased that I will be attending such a good school. It's fine, I knew what you meant. Am I imagining things? Just for a second, I thought he shifted his attention towards me. Not toward anyone else, not even Shinji, who's still bad-mouthing Leo, but to me alone. Yeah, right, there's no way a practically otherworldly person like him would notice bland me. I'm boring. The school day ended with nothing else of interest occurring. But that Leo, I can't shake the uneasiness he awoke in my heart. Feels like cogs somewhere have become misaligned. I'm just excited because for once, something happened. Well, besides what happened yesterday. I should report yesterday's finding to the editor-in-chief. So while normally I would be taking a break right now, I'm gonna try and get through this prologue section and then I'll take my break. That's once the first major part of the prologue ends, I'll take a break. Our club's 8th. Did you find out anything yesterday? What? Little Red Rooftop vanished before your eyes? If she disappeared, there isn't anything we can do about that. Nothing we can do? What's with the editor-in-chief's reaction? It's not right. I thought she'd say something like, hey, don't scare me like that. Actually, the problematic part is how nonchalant she is that a person disappeared. Your next story will be the mystery of the Courtyard Chapel. The editor-in-chief keeps talking like nothing happened. She's already on to the next thing. Should I say something? Hey, did you know there's a chapel on campus even though this isn't a mission school? Seems the chapel has been here longer than the school. This is just a rumor, but they say that it's haunted and magic rites are performed there. I'm sending you to investigate. The entrance to the courtyard is on the end of the right side of the first floor hallway. Alright, cool. And so we go. Luckily for me, I don't even really need to pay attention to the directions. Yep, because this isn't friggin' weird at all. What a scene. Ah, yes. That one creepy teacher and a bunch of dead bodies. Yay! That's not weird. Oh, that's not weird either. Nope. No, that's not freaky. Nope. Totally normal. Nothing wrong with this. The man stands like a black stain, tainting the joyfully multicolored flower beds around him. It's the new teacher, Kuzuki. Nap time in the quad. Yeah. But the man standing in front of me isn't acting like a teacher by any stretch of the imagination. The sick malignancy of overbearing aggression fills the air, and scattered around him are dead bodies of students? Why did you come in here? I'm certain I locked that door. I suppose I'll test you out. His thin lips hardly moved, but in the next instant, I'm bowled over as if struck by an invisible force. Chaotic thoughts bury my brain like endless grains of sand. What happened? Can I move my limbs? Seriously, what was that? Kazuki hasn't moved. No one else is nearby. Who? Why? How? My thoughts whirl. My heart races. I see what you are now. It isn't you, I suppose. His voice was a quiet hiss, but I could hear everything he said. This man with cold, inscrutable eyes raises his palm toward me. Oh, I got laid out on the floor. When I come to, I'm collapsed in the garden. The garden is silent. There's not even a trace of Kuzuki, or of the corpses that had been there. I'm uninjured, though my body aches from lying on the hard ground. The cold sweat that had covered me is gone too, only the piercing pain in my head remains. Maybe it was just a bad dream. I gulp air and attempt to stand. The ground seems to move under my feet. I'm delusional. Of course the ground isn't moving. I'll give my report to the editor-in-chief tomorrow and just go home for today. People die when they are guilty, but they don't. Don't really. Probably. I don't know. Nah, I should probably look around the campus a little more. Yeah, I know. Don't worry, we've got 2 optional scenes to view. Ooh. One of them more weird than the first. This way? Or is it this hallway? It's the other hallway. Is it not the other hallway? Oh yeah, it is. It's this one. I hear a familiar voice as I walk down the hallway. It's coming from around the corner. And there you have it. To summarize, about 30% of participants have overcome the computer's brainwashing. These individuals now remember who they are. They're all Class A Magi. One girl in particular made quick work of the brainwashing. You might say she's a natural, and therefore more adept than Magi who have been more sheltered. Unlike those domesticated sheep, she's a wild mouflon. Stronger, rarer, wilder. She couldn't even bear to put on the school uniform the other sheep mindlessly wear. As novel as that girl's wildness is, wild things end up in cages. Still, keep your distance and your guard up. The voice coming from in front of the supply room is none other than that of a teacher, Kuzuki. He was speaking politely, almost reverently. However, This Rin Tosaka, the Harways in Asia have voiced some concerns regarding her. She is the daughter of a noble family, which makes her unruly behavior even more unbecoming. The voice that chimes in to join Kuzuki's is none other than the transfer student Leo. Unlike in class, his voice held a childlike temerity. It seemed like Kuzuki's words bothered him. I simply she is a failure, like the other dropouts, and so, she's below your concern. There's nothing in the world that doesn't concern me, teacher. More importantly, I wonder what a domesticated being like me can learn from her wild bravery. There is nothing, because you are already perfect. Anything you lack is something the world itself lacks. It was a joke. It's been a while since I've been scolded. I think I enjoy it coming from you. In any case, I'll heed your warning about her. So, are there any other important happenings? It's worth noting the assassin sent by those alchemists. I have yet to confirm anything, but no doubt they're lurking about. I don't believe I've ever seen how an alchemist fights. Their charms or their symbols, rather, are quite unusual. We have the opportunity now. Aren't you curious, teacher? Wait until I have checked about this assassin first. Those are the only ones to watch out for. However, there are others with excellent ability. A handful of others have passed the prelims besides Rin Tosaka. I don't see the rush. I think there's much to be learned from observing this school. I'd like to take my time and enjoy, for instance, the beauty of things like the garden. They seem to employ quite the skilled gardener. You should see the garden too, Mr. Kuzuki. No, brother. Dum, dum, dum. I will respectfully decline, and that ends my report. I see, too bad. Then, if you need anything else, it'll be best if we have as little contact with each other as we can. It is unusual for a teacher and a student to meet like this. I understand. Be careful. Yes, you too, brother. Following those words, they both disappear, perfectly in sync with each other. I didn't understand what they were saying, but I get the feeling that I shouldn't have been listening. Therefore, I will forget it all and pay it zero attention whatsoever as they disappeared into a dead end mysteriously. Yeah, there's nothing wrong about that. As normal, we're not going to question it. We question nothing. Ever. You scared the bejesus out of me. What do you want? Actually, I'm glad you're here. The editor-in-chief asked me to investigate the Seven Wonders, but check this out. One of Tsukimihara Academy's 7 Wonders is a female ghost who wanders the hallway. The ghost of a foreign girl wanders the 3rd floor. If you respond to her, she'll suck out your soul. Now that you know the details, go investigate it for me. Oh, gee, thanks, bro. Huh? You think I should just walk around the 3rd floor and do it on my own? No way. I really can't handle paranormal stuff. If anyone can take the case of the wandering ghost on the 3rd floor, it's you. Good luck. Cool, thanks, dude. Once school is over, all traces of humanity disappear. The silence left behind is terrifying. Alone in the midst of this unnerving scene, I suddenly sense a strange presence nearby. It feels like there is someone standing right behind me, staring at the back of my head. It has to be my imagination. I hear no footsteps, no sounds of breathing. I am alone here. And yet, the feeling that I am not alone persists. It must be a hallucination of some kind. What should I do? It's my imagination playing tricks on me. And nothing should be there if I turn around and look. So, what should I do? Turn around, obviously. I turn around, and of course, no one is there. Wrong. Is what I want to say. However, standing there is what appears to be a young girl. The young girl's appearance is definitely at odds with the surrounding campus. With its mass of frills and hooped skirt, her dress is right out of the Victorian era. Combined with her porcelain-like skin, she looks just like a child's doll come to life. It's kind of a relief, but the point is, she doesn't seem like she's really alive. The girl doesn't move a muscle, just like a doll, just like a corpse. Just like a painting, like a wraith. Her eyes, so full of sadness, stare fixedly in my direction. Suddenly, her figure begins to melt away, as she slowly fades into nothingness. The last things to disappear are her eyes. Because that's not creepy at all. With that, the strange presence I felt fades away. There's nothing to indicate a girl was ever here. She must be the source of all the wandering girl stories floating around the school. Yeah, because that was totally normal. I'm so glad we figured that out. And once again, we're not going to question further. Don't settle me with this. I'm no good with the cold stuff either. Fine, be that way. I tried to report in, but bro was just like, nope, I don't want to hear it. And that should be it as far as optional scenes go, I think. Never mind. There's one more, and it was on the 3rd floor. Fuck. I don't think this one's actually even a scene. I think it's just extra text to provide later context of a character that later on will inhabit this corridor frequently. So I was looking at the garden and caught the eye of a stranger, and then they vanished. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but I've had a splitting headache ever since. What's up with that? Is that it? Is that all he says? I guess not. Or I guess so. Whatever. I thought there was going to be a more clear hint, but perhaps not. I wonder if I have to go out into the garden. I'll check the garden real quick. He said they vanished, so there's a chance I can't even walk out there. Yeah, they're not out here at all, and I'm pretty sure we can't go into the church either. Yeah, we can't walk into the church. That's fine. Wait, did that say search? The water fountain. That's it. Okay. Nope. We don't get to meet that particular character during this prologue, I guess. At least not today. Don't worry, the timer is almost coming down. It says remaining 1 day. Therefore. Oh look, a familiar face. The Fate fans, at least. Hello, young pupil. I shall follow your progress with great interest. Best of luck. I'm glad all the returning characters, they didn't like... Okay, so the art style is obviously different for the Fate Extra games. But they didn't really change their designs a whole lot. So if you're keen-eyed, you can pretty much guess who the returning characters are. Him being one of them. Alright, time to go home. Finally, the last day of the initial prologue. Where is the belfry in that moment? Gentle days. Oh boy, here we go. When I enter the classroom this time, things are a bit different. Wow, okay, how do you solve this problem, Leo? In this case, you substitute this for this and divide everything by x. It's the same simple equation that you used earlier. Whoa, you're right, thanks, Leo. Unlike someone else, he helps out his classmates without displaying an ounce of condescension. And that someone is directing a nasty scowl toward the new kid. That bunch of brown-nosing idiots will suck up to anyone who's got bigger pea brains than theirs. Whatever, it's no skin off my back. People who are ugly inside are ugly outside, too. His face says it all. It seems that Shinji's gaggle of female admirers has migrated to Leo's desk. For once, Shinji's irritation is kind of understandable. I'll give him this. The brat is a real charity worker, laying on the charm for those sows. Jesus Christ. He's desperate to appear smarter than me, but I'm the real smart one here. I see what he's doing. That dumb little kid doesn't know that I'm onto him. Reacting to Shinji's voice, Leo glances this way. Leo's expression is inscrutable, but not hostile. What do you want? You want to go? After a few false starts, Shinji finally manages to squeeze out that in a low voice. I don't know if Leo heard, but he gets out of his seat. The recoil turns into a noticeable flinch, which Leo smiles kindly at in response. Unlike Shinji's, Leo's gestures are filled with dignity. If I have unknowingly given you cause to be malicious, I would like to deeply apologize. Shinji Mato, was it? I'll be careful not to upset you in the future. His message firmly delivered, Leo returns to his seat. His soft voice bore no note of hostility or resentment. I know it's hard to believe, but maybe Leo wasn't upset. he knows when to bow down to true authority, it seems. I'm such a nice guy, I'll just accept his apology. Yeah, it's not like he ever pissed me off. After visually confirming that Leo was otherwise occupied, Shinji feigns calmness and leans back. I made it. Good morning, Oh, there we go. There she goes again. And that sound makes me cringe, no matter how many times I hear it. Everyone is desensitized to it for the most part. Even knowing that she'll jump to her feet in a few seconds, we should probably worry more. That thought. Maybe we should be worried. Nah. That sounds like work. Shinji still seems to be in a bad mood. It's obvious that he doesn't like Leo all that much. But with him, it's impossible to tell if he's really mad or just being cynical. Either way, it's just more of the same. Just like our homeroom teacher's daily dramatic entrance. And once again, the day begins. Alrighty then, let's pick up where we left off. According to Dr. Peaceman's biography, during class, I thought I saw Leo smirk a little, but other than that, nothing exciting occurred. Today is just another boring day in the long string of boring days. Who here knows what amnesia is? It's a terrifying condition where an individual loses all of their memories. It's caused by brain damage, severe trauma, or even infections of one's mucous membrane. The section of the doctor's biography we just covered touches on this condition. The cure for such a scary condition was discovered by Dr. Peaceman. With that said, using amnesia as an excuse for forgetting your homework isn't going to fly. When I was young, a fair number of my classmates were unscrupulous enough to try this. And before you get any ideas, I'm still young. In fact, I'm putting that on the test. As per the norm, Tiger's lecture starts to peter out. Just as a collective, this again starts to rise from the students. Miss Fujimura. Without being acknowledged by the teacher, Leo suddenly rises to his feet. The tension in the classroom ratchets up immediately as all eyes focus on Leo. The young boy surveys the room with a mysterious smile, taking in everyone's startled glances. Oh, and of course, my fellow classmates. It is time for me to leave. We will probably never meet again, so I wish you all well. What? My head. The pain. Ah, and before I forget, Miss Fujimura, I think you are still young, even now. Just your presence is enough to remind me of the beauty of youth. You are a remarkable person. After what seemed to be a very slight bow, he immediately seems to disappear from the room. Alright then. Let's continue. Please turn to page 86. And accompanied by the sound of flipping pages, the lesson goes on as if nothing had happened. Showing off like that in the middle of class. What a jackass. You have to use the jaw and be a little more discreet. And that I have to leave crap. Seriously, isn't he supposed to be some kind of aristocrat or princeling or something? Of course, what just happened is impossible. A highly suspicious disappearance in the middle of class, and the teacher doesn't seem to care. No one in class says anything, and the class continues as if nothing strange has happened. It was the same dull, dreary scene as yesterday, and the day before. This can't be natural. After Leo's exit from class, the lesson continues unabated, as if following a set script. Strange. This is definitely strange. It's as if the world tilted slightly and everything within it is losing its sense of presence. My head feels like it's going to explode. The pain is making it hard to remember who I am. Wait, come to think of it. I mean, really, who am I? What is my name? How old am I? Where do I live? How many people are in my family? What was my life like before I started attending this school? I can't remember anything. My memory has been completely erased somehow. How and why did this happen? That's right, the editor-in-chief of the journalism club. As the president of the journalism club, she should at least know my name. I know I had to have filled out something when I first joined the club. I'll ask her. Hopefully she'll be in her normal spot. Oh boy! Yeah, we never got to name our character, so obviously we have no idea what our name is. Our club's ace. Did you find out anything yesterday? The editor-in-chief is her usual cheery self. All I can think about is the pile of dead bodies I witnessed. Now I have to ask about myself. I'll ask her what my name is. Huh? Your name? Just look it up in the registry in the library. Yeah, the school registry. It has everyone's names. If I look at the school registry, it might jog my memory. I'll go to the library, which is on the second floor? Yeah, no, it's on this floor, which is, I guess, the second floor. I found it. Tsukumahara Academy Student Registry. Once I read through this, I should be able to remember everything about myself. I open the book and begin turning pages. Immediately, I notice something's terribly wrong. The pages are blank. Blank, blank, blank. Every single page was blank. I reach for last year's school registry, and when I start flipping through the pages, blank, 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 blank. What is happening here? Who am I? And just what is this place? Ooh. It's getting more and more unsettling. How fun. The editor-in-chief is friggin' gone. Oh, hi, Leo. There is something wrong with this place, but more worrying is the fact I can't remember who I am. As I wander the campus, I see Leo walking down a hallway on the first floor. As a transfer student, I can't see why Leo would want to visit any of the freshmen. Also, there's nothing but a dead end up ahead. I wonder what Leo is really up to. Ooh, let's follow him. Oh wait, hold on. I almost forgot! I actually would have been really bummed if I missed these. Ah, there she is again. I thought I had scared her away for good, but she's come back. I better not make any sudden moves or she'll just run away. Also, I'll let her speak first. However, she just continues to stare at me with intensity that borders on terrifying. Maybe I should say something to her, but softly, so as not to startle her. Maybe if I keep my back to her, it'll help a little. I'll just call to her over my shoulder. They obviously can't see the look on the young girl's face, and all I sense is hesitation. Her voice matches her appearance, small and faint. In a hesitant, halting voice, she begins to speak. It's a shame that the background music is a little bit louder, or at least as loud as the dialogue, but whatever. Maybe. I can't tell if she even voiced this line. I don't think she does. I'm Alex. I'm always here, so... She suddenly stops talking. Thinking she disappeared again, I turn around, only to see Alice still standing there. As I turn, she flinches a little and begins to fade away, then stops and starts staring at me. The scariest of them all. A little bit. As our customary staring contest begins anew, I swear that I can see a faint smile on her face. And she's just there. Hey, mister, let's have tea together sometime. She's just kind of chilling. You know, as one does. Next, we need to go see the target of our route. A pleasant breeze blows through an open window that overlooks the garden. As I look into the garden, I see a female student standing in the center alone. There she is! The target of the route for this playthrough. She has a striking appearance with long purple hair, almond skin, and a preternatural calm. Seems like she's meditating, her hands folded in a specific way and her eyes closed. Preternatural? I find that I can't stop looking at her. No one else seems to notice that she stands out dramatically. I start to feel uneasy about her. The girl's eyes snap open. And then she explodes. Suddenly, a massive jolt rocks the school, causing me to stumble about uncontrollably. The building shakes with a thunderous roar. The source seems to be the girl in the garden. What in the hell just happened? In the resulting confusion, my vision begins to distort. Dizziness, headache, a sense of weightlessness. I close my eyes to keep from being overwhelmed. When I open my eyes again, everything is exactly as it should be, like nothing happened. However, the air is permeated with a seductively sweet scent. Yay? Cool, I guess. Also, the girl that was in the garden had already disappeared. Was everything that happened just an illusion? Or maybe... As I turn to leave, I see the girl from the garden walking towards me. Oh! I don't know if you know this, but your shirt is kind of, revealing. That blast was meant to destroy everything in its range, but the school seems stout enough. As she walks, she looks out the window and talks to herself. As she goes by, she gives me a smile. Yeah, that wasn't weird at all. And then one last event. I believe. I think this is the last one at least. Though this is easily the creepiest in my personal opinion. Sakura! Oh, it's you, brother. I heard that you skipped archery practice again. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm sorry, brother, but you've embarrassed me again. How many times must I repeat myself, Sakura? Are you stupid? I mean, if you keep listening to others instead of me... Wait. Did I call you my little sister? I don't have a sister. I mean, I've always wanted one, but... Man, recently things have been kind of flaky. Gah! Damn it. What's this weird feeling? Ah, brother. You appear to be experiencing fatigue. Inserting apology text. Error detected. Please maintain a calm demeanor. Brother, please relax. Inserting reassurance text. Error detected. What's up, Shinji? Whatever is the matter, brother? Select desired sister personality. Things will get worse if you don't decide, but any choice you make will be the wrong one. So why not totally lose it, brother? Calm down, brother. What's going on? Damn, everything is going haywire. Brother, wait. Cease forward progress. Male relation construct brother, Sakurama's speech begins to skip and repeat, almost as if she's a malfunctioning robot. It's like she was reading from a script rather than engaging in a normal conversation. It wasn't only the incredible fleeing Shinji or the robotic Sakura that was going insane. Vertigo overcomes me as the school starts to waver. Something strange is happening to this world. Yeah, cause that ain't freaking creepy at all. Sakura literally just starting to glitch. Oi. Alright, finally, we're wrapping up the prologue. Can I save? Technically, you can game over yourself if you just fucking leave. I saved so I could literally do that to no consequence. Nah, everything's normal. Let's just go home. Surely nothing bad happens if I do that. This is the school's main gate. It is the fastest way to return to the outside world. There's something clearly not right about this place. And as for me, right, I'll just leave. Once I'm out of here, I'm positive that things will return to normal. I walk right through that gate. So, obviously, you're not supposed to do this. And I don't remember if this spoils anything, but whatever, we're gonna do it anyway. Right, I can just get through that gate. I take a single step beyond the gate. Or does it just unceremoniously game over you? In addition to an excruciating headache, a powerful jolt of electricity courses through my body. I can't move my body, my consciousness, rapidly fading. In this brief moment of time, I feel as if someone is talking to me. Trying to escape this world will be seen as a forfeiture of your place in the Holy Grail War. What does that mean? Immediately after thinking that, my consciousness ceases. Dead end. Just like a visual novel, making a certain choice game overs you. Luckily, we saved in the hallway just prior to doing that. Therefore, we can progress as normal. I just wanted to see what happened. Though I'm pretty sure I knew that already. I suddenly have this weird feeling that someone or something is up ahead in the hallway. We are very close to the end of this initial segment. Who, for some reason, is examining the wall at the end of the hallway with an almost excessive interest. I think it was mentioned something about Leo that I forgot to read. The attention to detail is quite impressive. Even the surrounding air is surprisingly substantial. If that is the case, this world is in some ways more real than the real world it represents. That quote again, huh? But that's just my opinion. How about you guys? What are your thoughts on this? In that moment, it feels like my heart skips a beat. Almost immediately, my blood pressure skyrockets along with my body temperature. Ba-dump, ba-dump, ba-dump. My pulse is like an explosion in my ears as blood races through my veins. And the reason is clear. Now Leo, has turned to face me. I now know for sure he's talking to me, as there is nobody else present besides the two of us. Greeting. I believe this is the first time we've had an actual conversation. I don't feel any sense of hostility from Leo. In fact, his smile seems genuinely friendly. His smile has the same effect on me as the rising of the morning sun, warm and comforting. In addition to his smile, his presence is inviting and inclusive, and I find myself drawn to him. Oddly, my worries have vanished. All I can think of is doing as he said, as that's the only way to... My mind feels like it's in a haze. It's like Leo is controlling my thoughts in some way. Attending school wasn't half bad. I've never had the opportunity to go to one before now. In that respect, this has been quite an interesting experience. However, the time for fun has come to an end. I did not come here to play at being a student. No matter how enjoyable the detour, eventually one must return to their appointed path. And for me, the time to do so has arrived. With those final words, Leo turns his back on me. Farewell. No, that's not quite right. I don't think farewell would be accurate in this situation. For reasons I cannot explain, I have the distinct feeling that we will see each other again. So I guess I should use the more congenial see you later. Well, it's time for me to move on. I wish you the best of luck. And then bro just walks through a wall. With those final words, Leo disappears. It's like he ceases to exist. One moment, his hand is on the wall. The next, he is gone. The young man in front of me seems to disappear before my very eyes. I want to say reality rejected his existence in it, but it feels like this was the opposite, that he refused to be constrained by it. It wasn't any special ability that allowed him to do so, just his strength of will. With his departure, I feel as if a great weight is lifted from my very being. And rather than be a cause for concern, it brings a fundamental question to mind. Who am I? As the question pops into my head, it begins to take on a life of its own, searing my brain. For people who've played this game before, alright, back to the stuff. What's up, Yam Gaming? I investigate the wall that Leo disappeared through. It's just a concrete wall at the end of the hallway. About the only thing on the floor is dust. But I am positive there must be something here, because Leo walked through the wall. If anyone doesn't know why I ran a couple laps back and forth in the hallway there, it'll become more clear after my break. It would be so easy to turn around, go back down the hallway, and pretend nothing happened. But there are things I still need to know. I have no memory. That means I've never had anywhere else to go but here, no place to return to. What was it that Leo said? No matter how enjoyable the detour, eventually one must return to their appointed path. That's what he said, didn't he? And beyond this wall lies the appointed path and the truth. If I follow him, I'll learn the answers to my questions, even if these answers are painful. But ignorance is bliss. Do I have the fortitude to face the truth and accept it? I want to know. Something's different. Down to the floors and the wall, the school has changed the very substance of its being. For some reason, reality cracking this way is immensely disturbing. Intensely. This world around me is more real than a painting, but not even as real as a sandcastle. I feel as if it's so brittle I could tap it and the echo would shake this whole world. Where the boring concrete wall once stood, now there's a doorway that I can freely walk through. An entrance. No, an emergency exit, like stairs to the outside. It's not something of this world. I have no doubt that the world the door leads to is utterly alien. Whatever awaits inside, whatever shape it takes, there's a certain sort of finality to seeing it. Ultimately, I've already committed to this path. I bid farewell to the false world, take my first step along the appointed path. Beyond the door seems to be a dismal-looking scrapyard. Out in front of me is a smooth-skinned effigy, while trying to figure out what exactly to do with it. Welcome, potential master. A voice comes out of nowhere. That effigy with you is your sword and shield for what lies ahead. It will move in response to your commands. Now then, please proceed. The truth that you seek lies ahead. The motivations of the owner of that voice worry me, but it's obvious I won't learn anything by standing here. Also, there is no longer a path by which I can return. I have no choice but to head into the darkness, with only this strange doll as protection. Suddenly we're in Kingdom Hearts. I made it. Within the deepest depths of the world beyond the door. This place must be the goal I'm supposed to reach. At last, that's what I thought. It's stifling, the aura of purity that seems to act as a ward against corrupted souls who'd try to enter. The feeling is familiar. It has the feeling of a chapel where the spirits of the deceased still linger. At first, I didn't notice, being overwhelmed by the grandeur of the room. But to one side is a young man in a familiar uniform, lying still on the ground. I call out to him, but there is no reply. I shake him in an attempt to wake him up when I notice. He is stone cold. I go pale as the corpse before me, and I can no longer think coherently. All I can do is stare in bewilderment. It is at this moment. The fallen effigy lying next to the male student comes to its feet with a clatter. Before I get a chance to make sense of what's going on, it suddenly twists around and comes right at me. Wait! Don't worry. I am the protagonist, and therefore I have plot armor. Which means there's no way I could lose. Well, that didn't go as planned. You seem to be lacking as well. I didn't stand a chance against that thing. It seems I wasn't qualified to be here. Me? Qualifications? That's right. I should know everything by now. The truth has to be here. But now... everything's going dark. I'm not even really scared. The only feeling that remains in me is regret. Even at the very end, I was unable to remember anything about myself. Someone, anyone, if you make it beyond here, please don't forget my name. And that's the end of the prologue! What a fucking introduction, dude! You spend half an hour playing as some dude who just unceremoniously dies. I say half an hour and a half. Absolute insanity. There's our servant. Ta-da. His story has ended. But what about yours? That was a long intro, yeah. But admittedly, the first time I played this, I was immediately sucked in. I didn't get to read it. So, before I take my break, I want to take the time to explain this. An hour and a half ago, when we chose between easy and normal, I had mentioned that isn't your real difficulty selection. That's because this right here is your actual difficulty selection. Though, of course, the game makes that not clear at all. From top to bottom, you have normal, hard, and very hard. I wouldn't really say there's an easy, though the only reason I say that is because I wouldn't even call the middle option normal. So if I were to say Saber, like the top one is easy, the middle one being normal doesn't sit right with me, which is why I'd almost say it's normal, hard, very hard. You choose Fox Girl. I certainly did my first time through, but for the sake of this playthrough, we are going to start from top to bottom. My eventual plan is to play through all three on stream, but we'll see if I actually have the stamina to do it back to back. This game isn't short. Normal, hard, and masochist. Yeah, unfortunately, my first playthrough, I picked normal and a magical Fox Girl. It's safe to say I did not win. I did not beat the game the first time I tried it, because Yeah, that was utterly painful. Trying to do normal and a magical fox girl on your very first playthrough is ill-advised. While magical fox girl is absolutely the best one, in my personal opinion, it's not worth it to do on a first playthrough. You will only experience pain and suffering. That said, before I move on, I am going to take a real quick break. We are 47 minutes over when I would normally take my break, and I said I would take it at the end of kind of the intro prologue section. Before we jump into the next part, let me go ahead and take a real quick break to get up, stretch, and probably try and eat some snacks, drink some water and all that, get my voice refreshed. Yeah, that's pretty rough, Noma. That doesn't sound very easy either. Like I said, normal, hard, very hard, or normal, hard, masochist checks out. Yeah. And if you picked normal on the previous selection on your first time through, you're kind of fucked. Just sucks to be you, I guess. This game is unforgiving. And admittedly, the combat system isn't great, but the story is quite awesome. So we're in for a long one. Anyways, BRB, you guys. All right, I'm back. Hold on. Let me get a nice swig of water before we move on. Okay, I'm gonna have to grab another bottle of water because I just about drank half of this one. Give me a sec. I think I admittedly might have pushed it a little bit, going that long without stopping to drink some water as I continued to read. So I'll have to be a little bit more conscious about that from here on out. It's Jesus. All right, let's go. Saber. Standard. Does it actually tell you? Yeah, standard technical maniac. Are you crazy? Those are your actual difficulty levels. Standard, technical, and maniac. We're gonna go with standard. And also, yeah, true normal probably would be normal Saber. But for the sake of a first playthrough, I'm gonna go ahead and do it on easy. So, from here, we replay that fourth day. I always waken very abruptly. I don't even think I dream. I suddenly find myself walking to school. My headache worsens day by day until it finally buzzes in my head like an alarm. Maniac verse? No, I wish. I literally, here's the thing. If I were to pick Tamamo first playthrough, I'm not sure I'd actually be able to complete it. The first 2 to 3 weeks playing as Tamamo on a first playthrough is unbearably difficult. You will just game over constantly. It's not worth it. So even I won't subject myself to that much suffering for a streamed playthrough. My headache worsens day by day until it finally... God damn it, dude. Now I just have phlegm in my throat. Give it a sec. My headache worsens day by day until it finally buzzes in my head like an alarm. That day, in potent numbness, I wake up twice as fast as normal. I walk to the schoolyard. It's clear and cloudless. 7:30 a.m. But what season is it? When I try to recall what season it is, I start to get so dizzy that I almost pass out. I may wind up back in bed if I let go and faint. For some time, I have been embracing a rush of useless information. The normal stuff you'd see at a school, like the hustle and bustle of my classmates by the entrance, it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. When I push the thought, my field of vision fizzles. Today, again today, there's a crowd of students milling in front of the school gate, and more are being directed that way. As to what's going on, there's a boy in a black uniform in front of the gate. He's my friend, as I recall, and he's Issei Ryudo, as I recall. Ryudo. I remember this from the first time. When Issei notices me looking at him, he pushes through the crowd. Good morning. Lovely weather we're having, don't you think? Why do you look so surprised? We announced last week's assembly that this month the student council would strictly enforce school rules. He runs through his spiel as if this was the first time he'd ever disclosed this information. I already know this. I know it. I already know what happens. It's happened more than once. I'm seized by a headache. I'm so dizzy I feel like I'm being forcibly logged out of my consciousness. First, let me check your student ID. I shouldn't need to remind you, but it should be on you at all times. My login ID is being checked. It's so obvious now. I answer clearly to the question that usually makes me go dizzy. Here we go! We can either play as the male or female protagonist for all 3 routes. Maybe the second route I'll play as Hakunan instead of Hakuno. But for at least the first playthrough, I'm going to go with the male one. The first and third. Absolutely. And I'm actually just going to give him... Unfortunately, his canon name doesn't actually fit. The first name does. The last name does not. So I'm going to have to shorten it ever so slightly. But we'll go Hakuno. And for the second name... How did I usually do this? I did... Because Kishinami doesn't fit. Kishi... Is there a way to shorten it somehow? I'll just do this. Kishinmi. Does Bangin' Kawakami fit? Funnily enough, it does. You know what? You make a good point. In homage to Persona, we're gonna be banging Kawakami. You're right, I could have done that, but for lol, we're now banging Kawakami. Huh. There we go. Perfect. We're banging Kawakami officially. Enter a nickname. Are we just banging? Banging. That's our nickname. We're banging Kawakami. Our nickname is Bangin'. Welcome to the Citadel? John Fextra. I won't do that. We'll just go banging. Let's bang, okay? Oh, true. Great, there's no telling when an emergency might occur, and it will be a help if you have your ID. I feel nauseous, and I know it has nothing to do with what I ate for breakfast this morning. I feel nauseous because of the world around me. It's repeating itself over and over, and that's making me sick. Yeah, maybe. First playthrough will be banging Kawakami. How about, why not? Now for the uniform inspection. Collar, check. Pant hems, check. And your socks, check. I love that John insert game name has become such a meme in so many game communities. I think the first time I was seeing it was watching like Juve and Jabo and them playing Bethesda games. Because Juve always had, you know, their Jabo had, you know, John Fallout and Juve was doing John Skyrim. And then it just kind of more and more I've seen it explode into other communities where John insert game name has become such a meme. Yeah, John Halo, like you see it everywhere now. It's crazy. I don't remember seeing it as much before, but that was where I first started seeing it. Not that I think they spawned it necessarily, but if we're banging Kawakami, I'd lose my mind. It's great though. John Halo is actually canon. Is it really? Maybe that's what started it. I want him to get out of my way. I want this repetition to stop. I push him aside and go forward. I'm not nice about it either. And he just continues his spiel after we push him out of the way and run past. He keeps on talking loudly, even though he's facing nobody. I have a headache. I'm shivering. I know one thing for sure. This is wrong. This cannot be the school I know. It can't be. Alrighty, Eldra. Take care, dude. I have to go. I have to hurry and wake up, or else it'll be too late. But who am I awakening for? John 113. I see. My anxiety and headaches are only getting worse. Afternoon arrives while I desperately try and find a way to escape this bizarre situation. As is now the norm, my vision is overlaid with some kind of unnatural distortion. Uneasiness, futility, emptiness. I want someone to explain to me the true nature behind all these feelings. There must be a key somewhere, something that will have the answers to all of my questions. Weird. Can we go view any of the events from this day from the perspective of this guy? Kind of. Alice is still chilling here. And she says the exact same thing as before. Is Rani chilling in the hallway? Nope, she went off somewhere. And I'm pretty sure we can't check the nurse's office either, but that's fine. I'll check the nurse's office anyway. Oh, look, it's our guy from the first day. That's pretty weird. The moment I step foot on the first floor, my feelings of unease intensify. There's a student wearing a red uniform, Leo, the new transfer student. The instant I lay eyes on him, I immediately feel intimidated and humiliated. There is also someone trailing behind him. It looks like one of my classmates. The more I think, the more I realize that Leo isn't the only anomaly I've come across while on campus. There are other things that seem off as well. Well, it's becoming clearer now. There are people who shouldn't exist. Students that mysteriously vanish. The fabric of reality is becoming unraveled. Don't turn away now. What is the truth? Don't turn away now. What defines the world you know? Don't turn away now. There is a reason why you're here. Come, do not allow yourself to close your eyes to the truth. Never see it coming. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing here either. Whoa! Therefore, we follow our previous self down the hallway. Leo and one of the guys from my class are talking in the hallway up ahead. The attention to detail is quite impressive. Even the surrounding air is surprisingly substantial. He says the same things as before. How about you guys? So yeah, we obviously didn't know there was some other guy there last time, despite him addressing multiple people. You guys, for a moment it feels as if he's including me in his comment. However, Leo begins speaking to my classmate, seemingly oblivious to my presence. Leo gives a smile with no hostility. However, I have a suspicion that there is something malicious behind his smile. Attending school, yep, Keep going, that's the one. Same text as last time. With those final words, Leo turns his back on me. I'm just skipping through it because we've already read it. Farewell. Bye. Yep, Cool, awesome. So if you recall, when I regained control here the previous time, I ran back up the hallway for the lull. I obviously didn't see anybody. That was just me screwing around, knowing it would affect nothing. Leo said as much, even going so far as to look in my direction. For some inexplicable reason, I'm not surprised that Leo knew I was spying on him. I'm trying to get things straightened out in my mind when Leo suddenly disappeared. And of course, he just immediately follows. He doesn't go back up the hallway like I did. Curses! The student who was following him also disappears after touching the same spot on the wall. At the same moment he vanishes, my vision distorts and the shock threatens to overwhelm me. What is going on here? Wonder if this place is the source of my unease. Let's go! Like him, I placed my hand on the wall, expecting to be drawn in. I see now that the way to the truth, to why I have these feelings, begins right here. I want to know. The atmosphere changes. There's a doorway, an entrance where the concrete wall used to be. It's not something of this world. There's no doubt that this door leads to someplace unfathomable. I bid farewell to the false world and take my first step towards the truth. Yay, truth. Nothing bad ever came from knowing it. Not a single time ever. An entrance to another world. Beyond this door, the previous statement perfectly describes the view before me. Walking behind me is my strange, silent attendant. It is to be my sword and shield for what lies ahead. A disembodied voice suddenly confirms my thoughts. Although I have yet to learn anything, I need to do something besides stand here. At the very least, there might be some clues to this bizarre experience up ahead. I have no choice but to head into the darkness with only this strange doll as protection. Bing bong. Let's go. And you know, nothing eventful happens. We just continue walking through a void. So yeah, unlike the last time, we actually get a little bit of a segment here rather than it just cutting to an unwinnable cutscene battle where we unceremoniously die. But, you know. I'm gonna admit, I am someone who's really looking forward to the remake of this game. It looks so pretty, and the combat improvements looks fantastic. But I had an urge to play this one again. No longer a typical school campus, the floors and walls, the air, even the aura are slightly off. It wouldn't surprise me to see a monster pop out from the shadows. It's very much like a dungeon here. Welcome, potential master. That's us. With a shocking suddenness, a voice begins speaking. It sounds like it's coming from the empty sky above. If you are looking for answers, now you must reach the goal. Now please, step forward. Tutorial dungeon go. But first, an item. Sorry, I'm eating. The illuminated cube in front of you is called an item folder. Inside of it is a farewell present of sorts for those about to face the coming trial. Touch it to open it. Ether Shine, which is just a healing item. Oh boy, dude, it's so weird that the shoulder buttons move the camera in the inverted direction. Before you is an enemy program. It is programmed to attack on sight. Touching it will initiate a battle, but you won't actually fight as you are too fragile. The effigy given to you will fight in your stead. If your effigy is ever destroyed in battle, you will no longer be shielded from harm. To put it bluntly, you will die. So be very careful in battle. But there's no need to be afraid, for now. Just do what I say and you'll be perfectly safe for the time being. First off, why don't I explain a little bit about battle? First off, there are 3 basic commands that you can issue in battle: attack, guard, and break. Each turn in battle is composed of 6 actions, and you will need to tell your effigy what your strategy is to be. Basic command, explorer, This guy will only use break. Need to use attack, So this kind of explains the combat. The basic gist is that it's very convoluted RNG based rock, paper, scissors. Not entirely RNG, as enemies will have certain patterns they adhere to. Though in actual gameplay, you will not normally know most of what the opponent is using, at least not initially. It's not great. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, this game's combat's not not that good. The servant battles I think are great. Like, those are fantastic. But general dungeon combat is really miserable. So how did it go? One thing to know is that in each turn, you'll have to plan a series of 6 moves that will defeat your foe. The goal is still far ahead. If you must bask in the afterglow of your victory, do so while moving forward. The gameplay of this, the combat, I guess, is easily the weakest part. Like, no content. Look, here comes another one. This one will only use attack, and therefore you just need to guard. Yep, I'm not gonna bother reading the tutorial text too much, because it's not all that interesting. It's just teaching you how to play. Luckily, these tutorial battles are great for being able to sit here and snack. And yeah, that's just explaining if you manage to succeed 3 attacks in a row while guessing or choosing correctly, depending, you'll get an extra turn while you do extra damage. However, the enemies also get extra turns if you get it wrong 3 times in a row. So try to avoid that. Now we just guard. Well, we need to use the break command. He's gonna be guarding. So yeah, if you haven't picked it up already, break beats guard, guard beats attack, attack beats break. Pretty simple. Or so it would lead you to believe until you get into actual dungeons and realize how unforgiving this game's combat can be sometimes. So it's less unforgiving and more absolute bullshit, if we're being honest. You have been through 3 battles. Yeah, I know how to do that. Woo! Blah, blah, blah. Yep. Cool. Is the next one an actual potential encounter, or is it also scripted to tell you what the enemy does? And so this is just hinting at you that enemies have patterns that you have to pay attention to. Most of them will not be this simple. And memorizing the usually 3 or so patterns every enemy type has per dungeon is miserable. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Trying to memorize the patterns enemies have sucks, because it will very easily get confusing past a point. Luckily, the first few dungeons aren't too bad. Even if I wasn't playing Saber, I'd probably vaguely be able to recall, because at least I know the strongest enemy in Dungeon 1. It has a very easy to remember pattern, even now, after it's been years since I played this game. Good job. All right then, please proceed to the final room. So at least there's that. But I made it. At the very end at the end of a very long road, after going through a door that suddenly appeared in the wall. The oppressive air of this place, where the spirits of the dead still linger? Here is my goal. That's what I thought. Oh, look, it's our former protagonist. Further in, it appears as if someone had collapsed. When I look into his face, it's the student who was following Leo just now. I call out to him, but get no reply. I shake him in an attempt to wake him up when I notice he is stone cold. I go pale as the corpse before me and I can no longer think coherently. All I can do is stare in bewilderment. That feels like an odd sentence there. It is at this moment. For a second I thought I read it incorrectly, but no, that's what it said. It was just an odd sentence. The fallen effigy laying next to the male student comes to its feet with a clatter. After having to fight several enemy programs to get here, it's obvious that this thing is an enemy as well. Without warning, it suddenly twists around and comes right at me. This is your first taste of how unforgiving this game's combat can be. Luckily, me and the corpse can't think straight. That was just an odd sentence. So a lot of enemies you fight, their previews look like this. I know I'm blocking one on the live screen, but the one behind me is also a question mark. And therefore, have fun and guess. Better not get 3 wrong in a row. Okay, so he used break, attack, guard, attack, probably. Yeah. So if he used break, attack, guard, attack. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try anyway. He used attack, break. Nope, I'm done. Yeah, that checks out. You seem to be lacking as well. Yay, we died again. Oh yeah, this sucks ass, doesn't it though? I can hear the sound of a distant voice. The time has come. With your inevitable loss, I will consider this round of preliminaries to be over. Farewell, I pray you'll find peace in your annihilation. That is the voice's final words to me. I don't have the power to protest. All I think I can do is stare at the floor. And I think I'm going to die here. Suddenly, at the edge of my now hazy vision, a number of brown-colored lumps seem to rise from the ground. Actually, it might be that I just noticed them now. They may have been here from the beginning after all, for all I know. Those lumps are the bodies of an untold number of fallen Tsukimihara Academy students. What a fucking sequence. I about lost my mind the first time I saw this. Little middle school me on my PSP, like my eyes were huge. I'm just like, what the fuck? The guy before me wasn't the only one to fall. All of the others made it here and died, unable to do anything. And in a very short while, I suppose I'll become one of them. Maybe I should just close my eyes now. I did all that I could, so maybe it'd be better for it to end now. No, I refuse to give up. I refuse to give up. I summon all my strength in an attempt to get back on my feet. However, as I try to move, an unbearably intense pain shoots through my entire body. If that's how it's going to be, no, if this is... Refuse to give up! I'm pretty sure if you just give up, you game over instantly. And that, I would normally show what it does, but it would be a huge waste of time. So, I'm not showing it. I don't want it to end like this. I cannot ignore the intense pain coursing through my body. I've reached a point where I no longer see stars as my eyes feel like they're on fire. I feel like all 5 of my senses are being ripped from my body. The music changed. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the pain. I'm afraid of losing my senses. I'm afraid of becoming a corpse. And the most terrifying thing, disappearing without a trace for any reason at all. It's not right that I disappear here. I'm gonna get a drink of water real quick. My consciousness, shot through with waves of distortion, screams out against the injustice of it all. What was the purpose of suffering through those headaches just to fade away here and now? What were they all for if I just fade away here and now? I have to stand up. It's okay if I'm scared. It's okay if I'm in pain. I have to rise above all of that. Because I have yet to fight of my own volition and on my own terms. It took me a second.
死の淵において恐れを抱き、恐れを飲みながらなお戦うか。
Umu! Our Umu goddess has arrived.
見事だ。よくぞ言った。名も知らぬ路傍の者よ。その願い、世界が聞き逃そうとも、世が確かに感じ。
God, I love this woman.
拳を握れ、顔を上げよ。命運は尽きぬ。
It sucks that I'm blocking some of the text again.
なぜなら、そなたの運命は今始まるのだから。
The sound of breaking glass is accompanied by a light cutting through the gloom. I managed to move my weary body and aching head to see what's happening. I didn't notice it before, but something was slowly rising up from the floor in the middle of the room. That form. With her ass out, or at least half out, and a dress that leaves nothing to the imagination. Its appearance isn't that much different from a human being, but something was different. Clearly so. The lack of paint. The power emanating from it transcended that of any human, or of any enemy I've faced in getting here. An awesome power that seems as if it had vaporized anyone it touched, swirls within my body, almost against my will.
では、改めて問おう。答えよ。そなたが世のマスターか？
So, fun fact, depending on your servant, there is a wrong answer here. In the case of Saber, you can choose either and it won't matter. Same with Caster. You can choose either and it won't matter. However, if you picked Archer and you select no, you game over. He just goes, oh, okay, fuck you then, and leaves.
美しい声だ。気に入った。我が身を呼びつけた慢心も今はどんなり。よし、特別に許す。そなたに
Should I put myself like on top of the text box, maybe? I might. Cause then I won't block it. Even if I, you know. And I think it'll be on top of it during combat too. So maybe I'll just sit up here on top of the text boxes a little bit. So I think this will also be above the combat sequence in battle too, right? I'm trying to get it like where it's not overlapping too much. It's pretty good. Got a slight gap. A bit more. That's too many pixels. That's probably closer to it. That'll work. I'll just hang out up here so I'm not blocking text boxes. She takes hold of my hand and helps me to my feet. From the hand she had grabbed comes a sudden warmth and then a sharp pain, like I've been cut by a knife. On the back of my hand, as though tattooed, it is a strange symbol that looks like some kind of crest. Totally confused, I alternate between staring at the mark on my hand and the person standing before me. And then, A noise behind me brings me back to my senses. Turning around, I see that the effigy from before is still here, now in a fighting stance. I wince uncontrollably, recalling my previous defeat at its hands. Oh, did I skip something on accident? What an excitable master I have. Why are you so flustered? While I am by your side, have no fear that you may lose your way. Remember that victory is all that matters. My blade is the ultimate instrument. Even the muses themselves would bow before the sound it makes. Master, strike with my sword. Show me the extent of your abilities in this first battle. Whoa! Show him who's boss, Saber. Oh yeah, perfect. Even in combat, I'm sitting above the combat thing. That works out great. I'm gonna move myself slightly down a little too far. That's good enough. Perfect. And luckily this time it does us the favor of telling us what the enemy hates. Automatically level 2. Let's go. The battered effigy stops moving. There's no way it'll still function after being effectively torn apart. That wasn't entertaining at all. Considering how long I've waited for such a moment, I am truly unsatisfied. She continues to talk. However, the sound of her voice doesn't quite reach my ears. The heat coming from the mark on my hand grew in intensity during the fight, and the resulting pain has become unbearable and burned through my consciousness. The mark imprinted on your hand is your command seal. It is proof that you hold dominion over a servant. You can use it to give 3 orders that must be obeyed. Think of them as disposable strengthening spells. It is also proof of your participation in the Holy Grail War. If you lose it for some reason, you will die. Once again, I hear that voice. I somehow manage to ignore the pain and listen to what it has to say. I can understand your confusion, but before I forget, congratulations. You have endured much to make it here. Now rest for a while. You've achieved your first goal. It was an incredibly clumsy effort to say the least, but that's what made it all the more entertaining. I've had this duty for a long time, but this is the first time I've seen a master as helpless as you. Nevertheless, be proud of your achievement. Your quick thinking came as a result of nerves and rashness. Thinking about it, the voice sounds like that of a 30-year-old man, and it's really irritatingly smug. For some reason, I can see the owner of the voice as a priest dressed in a somber cassock. Remember that guy I checked out in the courtyard that I said would be a familiar face to people who are also Fate fans? That's who's been giving these tutorial texts. Oh, you're curious about my identity. I am honored, but I am insignificant. I am merely a part of the system. I am just a guide, tasked with giving a standard message and given the personality of a prior participant. I am no more than words, no more than the mountain you just conquered, no more than a record of the past. A record, so if I raise any objections to this voice, does it mean I won't receive any answers in return? Exactly. Well, this is unexpected. You have received a commendation, something about you having a light. I have no clue who would say such a thing about me, but that short phrase struck my heart because, for some unknown reason, I knew the words were sincere. And as for, I expect good things from you, it seemed like more of a command than an encouragement. Now, let us commence your baptism. You have proven yourself worthy of the honor. For most, the monotony of everyday life continues on without end. Your decision to look beyond the accepted and progress means you have earned the right to exist. However, you have but taken the first step. Be jubilant, young knight, for the Holy Grail War begins now. I have no idea what he's talking about. Holy Grail War? The right to exist? That is correct. An object of great power once existed in the world. One that could grant any desire. People called it the Holy Grail and fought endlessly in an attempt to gain sole possession of it. This war, the system you find yourself in now, is an evolution of those struggles. You stand at the entrance of a deadly struggle where many magi will perish in pursuit of the Holy Grail. Listen, magi, had I not bestowed upon the earth desire, you'd be merely saints capable of committing sin. Now fight to the death. The fiery throne of heaven will only receive those with the strongest of desires. The voice reverberates throughout this hidden chapel as if it were the voice of God. Kill magi? Holy Grail that grants wishes? These questions and more swirl inside my head and almost seem to carve themselves into my flesh. In war, a weapon is needed. That is your servant. They're the spear that pierces, the shield that protects. A legendary soul whose purpose is to clear your way to the Grail. That is the one who stands beside you. Panty shot, nice. I glance over at the young woman in red standing next to me, who is looking up into the sky. She is my servant. It seems you have decided, and with that decision as payment, I now open the gate to the Holy Grail. So it's less of a panty shot and more of a shot of her leotard. The marks on my hand, my command seal, once again begin to become excruciatingly painful. It's over. I can't take it anymore. Oh, and then I crumple over like a house of cards. I reach the limits of my endurance. My mind starts to shut down. I lose consciousness. I can vaguely hear the voice's final word. Now, let the Holy Grail War begin. No matter the era, deciding who is worthy through battle is the divine providence of man. Magi who have been invited here by the moon, show me your true strength. Dun, dun, dun. Save your progress. And this is the official end of the prologue. It only took 2.5 hours. A PSP game with an over 2-hour prologue.
魔術師による生存競争。運命の車輪は回る。最も弱き者よ、剣を鍛えよ。その命が育んだ己の価値を示すために。
First week. We're finally out of week 0. I'm gonna have to read this. The sky burned. Houses collapse into ruin. People fall to the ground. Roads come to an end. The conflict started here. With this, the world that was will be restored. It is here that I alone had survived. Don't remember, never forget. Oblivion is the salvation and sin. Never forget. I was born of perdition. This must be a nightmare. This had to be somewhere. It could be anywhere. These events that occurred in the true memory of childhood. A torrent of blood flows, and a voice resonating with bitter resentment can be heard. Lives fade away without a thought. Friends, family, strangers, all gone. Soldiers with guns, families trying to hold together. A grotesque struggle to the last, until a gentle peace descends as death comes to claim it. I could not accept all I have seen. The question of why never left me. Even with the divide between conflict and catastrophe, why did such a tragedy occur? No, more importantly, why has this world been turned into a hell on Earth? A gentle rain begins to fall. All things once living fade away, leaving only one behind. Amidst the helplessness and despair, their souls' last feelings are of rage and regret. The rain wets their cheeks as their eyes close one last time, dying forgotten and alone. Seeing this, I struggle to rise from the depths of death. I will not accept what I have been shown. If I can live again, I will definitely. But there are no second chances. And before long, the rain has cleansed the scorched earth. Never forget, I was born from perdition. What that means, somehow, please don't forget it. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I can't forget what I don't know. It seems I saw some sort of twisted, distorted dream. So I wake up in the nurse's office, totally fine. Back to school. With that, I wake up in the nurse's office. I must have collapsed and was brought here. So was that world the effigy that blocked my way, and that servant all a dream as well? Maybe. No, this nurse's office is far different than the one I knew. It's similar, but off somehow. I don't really think she's actually reading the line. That was just a voice clip. So, you're finally awake. I guess there are no limits to feebleness after all. Hi. This game really loves that pan-up shot, doesn't it? While you were unconscious, I had naught to do but stare at you while you slept. The overwhelming, unforgettable presence of someone suddenly appears beside my bed. What I think to be a valiant young man garbed in crimson is in fact a young woman. I'd say that's fairly obvious. But this being is not human. Any normal conclusion based on gender or looks would be moot. But it's all for the best, as you have come to in time for the start of the Holy Grail War. Incidentally, you are fully aware of what the Holy Grail War entails, correct? I am, but for the sake of exposition, let's say I'm not. Holy Grail War? I've heard mention of it, but what is it exactly? You know nothing of the Holy Grail War, and yet somehow you managed to become a master. While pitiful, ignorance is hardly a sin. I shall instruct you as I am able. Firstly, the Holy Grail is said to have held the blood of a savior and has the power to grant wishes. Holy Grail? That Holy Grail? It's the basis of an entire body of Western religious history. A holy relic said to perform miracles that became well known through the Arthurian cycle. The original has been lost to time, and all that remains are base counterfeits. But no matter, the Holy Grail for which you are fighting is a different object altogether. Early on, the Holy Grail War was the name given to a ceremony Magi held to gain the Grail. In truth, it was a bloody melee from which the sole survivor would be granted the Holy Grail. In simple terms, the tournament you're now in is an approximation of the original Holy Grail War. Now, new Magi have emerged in a time in which thaumaturgy has all but faded away. Magi, Magus, although I can hardly believe that these words apply to me, it seems that others think of me as one. Whatever the case, it sounds like this Holy Grail War is a merciless fight for survival. You're helpless. Here, to win is to live, to lose is to die. There is only one way to avoid death. The rules are simple. Two Magi are assigned to fight each other using their servants as weapons. The Magus who loses to their opponent is stripped of both their command seals and their life. Third, the fourth master is the route split. My eyes are drawn to my left hand, where I've been marked with 3 strange symbols. The 4th master depends on your route. That's the only one that changes. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure she's 3rd. It sounds right to me. I can literally double check, but I'm almost positive she's the one before the route split. Yeah, she is. Anyway. You will face a series of battles before you reach the Holy Grail. The details don't really matter. There are a number of minor rules, but the most important one is width. Simple, is it not? Just before? Ah, okay. I doubt it's that simple. Well, I have a million questions. At least I know the basics now. Whether I want to be here or not, I am now a participant in this Holy Grail War nonsense. Fair enough. That's where you stopped before the 3rd servant battle in the last one. But yeah, pretty early on. Indeed, as long as you understand the basics, that is enough for now. I say pretty early on, but that's like somewhere between 12 and 20 hours in, depending. Now then, do you know what a servant is? Might as well tell her no, just to, again, let the exposition play out. You know nothing of servants either. It seems that your ignorance is boundless. With an irritated expression, the servant before me continues to lecture me with subtle disdain. Servants are legendary souls called from the past to help masters win in the Holy Grail War. Only those whose deeds are acknowledged long after their deaths become legendary souls. The servants recreated here by the Holy Grail are drawn from those whose legends endure. Servants are basically soldiers, there to guide and protect the magus who summon them. As per the rules of the original Holy Grail War, servants are divided into 7 classes. Originally, the classes of legendary souls were hidden, but things have changed over time. Saber, Lancer, Archer, Rider, Assassin, and Rider, and Berserker. What were the others? Oh well, they aren't of any importance. Only the Saber class matters. I'm pretty sure this is dialogue unique to her. Both Archer and Caster, I believe, do properly explain. Also, wait, she already said Rider. I guess it was Assassin and Caster. Plus Berserker. Those were the 3 she didn't name. Also, these classes identify core skills only. Replicating every single skill would be impossible. A legendary soul's main traits are aligned with the class and then given form. It'd be safe to assume that an enemy servant's class will give you clues about their power. Furthermore, it is said that those of the Saber class are far superior to other servants. Hence why the Saber route is the easiest in this game. So then, allow me to test your knowledge. I'm sure you know which class I belong to, yes? A pantsless one. Rider, I hardly know her. So these 2 answers are wrong and will upset her. And because upsetting her makes me sad, I'm gonna go ahead and choose the correct option. Correct. As the Saber class is the best of the servant classes, it's obvious that I am a Saber. Yes, you have answered well, and I can sense the promise and potential in you. Also, that question is unique to her. The other 2 don't care and don't ask. Now then, from this time forward, you may refer to me as Saber. She only asks that because she wants you to stroke her ego. It's not like she's a narcissist or anything, that'd be silly. No honorifics are necessary. As you are my master, I will allow you to address me as an equal. Saber. Her personality is going to be difficult to deal with, but she's definitely a worthy ally. Wait, if all servants are legendary souls, I wonder who Saber was in real life. I wouldn't mind her writing. I mean, yeah, she's obviously Saber. Yeah, that's the one. My true name? I have nothing embarrassing to conceal, and I'd be happy to tell you. Huh, but it'd be a disaster if an enemy were to learn my true identity from you. But if my name were to be known, it wouldn't affect my resolve or my approach to battle. I will share my name once I have learned a little bit more about you. But I understand your unease at knowing nothing at all. Although I can't tell you my name, question not the truth of my words. And as for the Holy Grail, All I know is that it grants wishes and creates servants using a famous figures from history. With you as Magus and I as the mightiest of legendary souls by your side, the Holy Grail will be ours. For now, let that truth put your mind at ease. Allow my sword to clear away all of your doubts. Alright, bye. With that, my servant disappears into the ether. However, I can feel their presence nearby. They must be staying out of sight when they're not needed, so their identity can't be compromised. But how their identity would be guessed just by their appearance is beyond me. Oh, hello, Sakura. Ah, Bang. I forgot we named him Bang in Kawakami. You're finally awake. I'm so relieved. You don't seem to have any injuries, so feel free to leave when you feel like it. Also, all of your memories have been restored by Seraph, so do not worry. Any magi that seek the Holy Grail have their memories suppressed and are given those of a student. Only masters who manage to recover themselves are allowed to enter the main tournament. Now that you have regained your memories, please review them to make sure they are complete. The ass window is a big hint. Is it really? Sure. Regain my memories? That's not right. Outside of my name, I can't recall anything of my past. I realized that everyone around me was forced to believe they were normal students. However, I cannot remember a single thing that happened to me before then. Sure, why not, Pelicans? Your memory restoration failed? I cannot help you. I, Sakura Mato, am just a custodial AI. My complaints were totally ignored. It seems that she can't act beyond her programming. Oh, I should give this to you before I forget. Portable terminal. She gives me some kind of portable terminal. I assume it's for getting messages and whatnot. As a participant, you should pay attention to any messages that appear on your terminal. Yes, we'll check that in a minute. But real quick, if I remember correctly, can we see my command seal? Status? Command seal. Yes. So, does this look familiar to anybody? Maybe those of you who have sub badges? I don't think I've explicitly pointed this out anytime recently, but this is the command seal my sub badge is based on. This is actually what it looks like zoomed in back when it was originally red, depending on how many months, and then it just changes color as you continue going up. This is what I used as the base for my sub badges. This particular command seal. Fun fact for anyone who didn't know. If you know, you know, yeah. Shut up, Falcon. I know, I don't have anything past, what, 2 years? I don't know what else I could put it on. Alright, we gotta go find the code of Mina. Oh, wait, never mind. Just kidding. There's something else we can do. Check this shit out. Go, 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 go. Let's go meet with the wife. But unfortunately, not the route we're doing. True, you're like 3 months away. Hello. I've investigated this school from top to bottom, but there's nothing unique about it. Hello, wife. The girl pats the walls and floors, murmuring something to herself. You've never met, but she can't be anyone but Rin Tosaka. She has a nice face and figure, gets good grades, and is popular at Tsukimahara Academy. From what I hear, she even makes Shinji jealous. That's crazy, Pelican. However, she became popular while the school was at peace. Things are different now. That defiant gaze is nothing like the vacant smile of a popular kid. The Holy Grail War. Before I knew it, the school had been turned into a battlefield, and Reen knows it too. Yeah, it hadn't registered it before, but we're all predators now. It's kill or be killed. Phrase it? I have to acknowledge that as the truth, even if I don't want to.
あら
Hey, you over there. Her eyes soften as she looks at me. I'm playing Fortnite. Yeah. Yeah, you, I haven't checked the NPCs out much yet. Haha, I know a simple way. Don't you move. And she just feels us up, naturally as breathing. Unexpectedly, her fingers reach out and touch my cheek. Such thin, delicate fingers. I realize how remarkable it is that so strong a gaze can come from so innocent a frame. Imagine that! You're warm. Though you shouldn't be. Wait, that's weird. Seeing a red cheek flush like that? Her face is just 3 centimeters from the tip of my nose. Ba-dump. My heart races at the closest. Her breath exhales warmly against my cheek, and her hair tickles my bare neck. Oh, thank you. I needed that image. Her pat down of my shoulders and stomach seems playful compared to the harsh gaze from earlier. Transfixed, I'm unable to move as her pale fingers slide over me, and we're just letting her do this. Interesting. You're more well built than I'd expected. You look and feel real. Maybe more real than most people. Hey, what are you laughing at? It's to our advantage to look into everything, even the NPC. Yeah, sounds about right, Noma. She looks behind her, scowling. Although invisible, her servant must be there. Huh? He's a master too? No, a master should be more... Wait, that means when I felt up... Yep. I just stood there and let you. She must be thinking about it now because she's blushing. As am I. Are you pushing her away? Fair. Ugh, how embarrassing. Yeah, I would have just stood there and let her explore, I suppose. Ugh, how embarrassing. Shut up! I can make mistakes too, you know? And don't call me a pervert. I love / hate the fact that she only has one garter holding up her left stocking and not the right one. Reading her servant. So, I won't explain too much, but for people who watched her Red Fate Stay Night, and especially like the Unlimited Blade Works route, I guess this is already into spoiler territory, but the match for her in this game was fan fiction that they pushed into existence, basically. Like, people already wanted them to be paired back in Unlimited Blade Works. This was just them fulfilling that kind of fan fiction pairing. It's fantastic. I'm pretty sure she was addressing an off-color comment coming from her servant there. It could have been my imagination or a hacker. Such a detailed NPC would rarely exist otherwise. Anyway, you're to blame for being confusing. You're too bland to be anything but an NPC. That's fucking rude, Reen. Nothing but a blank look on your face even now. Were the prelims too boring to jog your memories? She touched on a subject that I would rather not think about, even in jest. It kind of grinds me to a halt. Oh, no way. Your memories still haven't returned? That's really not good. Once you enter the Holy Grail War, the only way out is to win. Leaving prematurely isn't allowed. Even without memories or previous battle experience, you still have to fight. Oh well, it doesn't matter. You'll be defeated in the Holy Grail War soon enough. Cool, thanks. As the concern disappears from her voice, I glimpse the real Tosaka, my opponent in the Holy Grail War. It isn't personal. She considers everyone in the Holy Grail War her enemy. An impudent blow, but it piques my interest. You'll be an intriguing foe should you have the courage. Those are fighting words, Master. When we meet her in battle, I will give her my answer to them. Unlike my servant, I have no witty response to my future rival. I have to win. Now that I know what's at stake, I have to win. Well, I guess I pity you. We're not cracking into the system and destroying it, we're hacking. never know what's on the other side of the Seraph's wall once it goes down. Did your soul get jarred after you made it into the main event? If it's lost or unreadable, then how about you investigate later? Well, in any case, you don't look like you're cut out for fighting. Thanks to excitement or nerves, everything feels unreal, no matter if you have memories or not. You can't help feeling like you're in a dream. It'll be hard to win feeling so disoriented. So I've lost my memory. Who am I? What's my story? What am I even doing in this Holy Grail war in the first place? All I know is that I'm a master with a servant at my command. Ta-da. Now that it's evening time, by once, we can head downstairs to the nurse's office, I think. And Sakura will sell shit to us. Or not. Maybe she doesn't. Actually, where the hell is the shop? Now I don't remember. I thought Sakura was the shop. Oh, I remember where it is now. No, the cafeteria is downstairs. Oh, I remember now. I thought Sakura was the shop, but that might be later. I think she heals you or something. So, I can't afford the new code cast. Not that it matters too much at the moment anyway. And we could buy a couple healing items. Admittedly, they're not terribly helpful at the moment. I'm gonna leave them. The much coveted Jockey Silver Breads, yep. Since they're rarely available. It's fine. Not that I need to necessarily, but I am gonna go back to the class and talk to the one student who had a bubble above their head. Once your opponent has been decided, it's like the tournament has officially begun. But you don't know what you're fighting. Better go find Father Kotamine. Alright, cool. You mean the guy downstairs with the thing on his head? What up? Congratulations! You've been deemed worthy to be a participant in the Holy Grail War. You may call me Father Kotamine. I'm an NPC assigned to the task of supervising the Holy Grail War. As of today, you and your fellow Magi have been given the honor of fighting in the arena up ahead. I think I missed a couple talks we could have, but it'll be fine. War is run in an elimination tournament, with the Grail being awarded to the last person standing. In other words, the participating masters will kill each other until there is only one person left. Simple enough to understand, yes? Even a complete idiot should be able to understand the rules. Masters get a 6-day preparation period before the elimination battles, which occur on the 7th day. I'd advise you to use the time given to you to devise the most efficient means of slaughtering your foe. On the 7th day, you and your foe will fight. The winner lives, and the loser is deleted. If you wish to make a query, speak now. The right to ask about the rules is given to all. How do I survive? As I've already explained, after 6 days of preparation, you must kill your assigned opponent. You have chosen your servant to use as a weapon for that very purpose, have you not? Okay, cool. Preparation period. Of course, the other masters are given the same time to prepare for battle and to kill. For how you prepare, I cannot help you. Do whatever you feel is necessary. At the terminal. The terminal will relay any messages generated by the system which governs the Holy Grail War. It is the course of wisdom to pay heed to any message you may receive. I guess I'm prepared. I see. Good luck then. There's something troubling you. What was that? You have yet to be informed of your first round opponent. Wait just a moment. Strange, there seems to be a system error. I will locate your opponent by tomorrow. One last thing. Masters that continue to advance will be given a private room. Cool, thanks. Yucky silver bed. Your room will be located in classroom 2B. Please enter this password into your terminal. Well, time for the conversation has come to an end. The door ahead leads to the arena. For today, concentrate on becoming accustomed to the inner workings of the arena. The arena entrance uses the same door you went through during the preliminaries. Good luck. Okay, real quick. I'm gonna see if we can get these events out of the way. Can I even talk to these people still? I don't think so. I think I missed a couple conversations by talking to him so early. Yeah, I missed at least one appearance, I believe. She's no longer here. Well, that's a bummer. We could have talked to Rani before talking to Kotomine. And I forgot to save as soon as we regained control, so I already missed it. I think there could have also been a question we could have talked to Reen about. I think we can still talk to Reen, that's fine. But isn't our resident lost little bastard? Is there something else you want of me? Said it already, but we're at war and you're my enemy. I have no desire to be your friend. Seeing as you can't remember anything, I guess any info would be useful to you. Since no one else is stupid enough to help, I guess I will. Tsundere! Tsundere alert! Only about the basics. I'll tell you what I can. That should be enough, right? Beyond the basics, you're on your own. Poke around the Seraph if you need more specific info. She's such a good... I love Reen, dude. Like, I wouldn't be helping you if you weren't so freaking hopeless. It's not like I care about you or anything. But here, I'll help you. That's right, you have no clue about anything. Let me start from scratch then. Seraph refers to the artificial world where we are now. Think of it as a kind of virtual reality. With that being said, it worked on a level far removed from supercomputers and networked clusters. The creation of a single legendary soul is far beyond the capacity of most of the world's computers. But in this place, there are more than 100 currently in existence. Imagine the power needed to just run the preliminary, with all of the necessary NPCs, etc. Things here are so anomalous that it requires godlike hacking skills just to gain access. And to be able to digitize yourself and exist here requires that you be a Magus level hacker. So, are you okay with what I've told you up until now? Okay then. So, what do you want to know about first? I want to know about Reen. Why in the hell are you asking about me? I have no desire to even pretend to be your friend. Ah, you think I'll say something that'll give you an edge. Maybe you're not completely stupid. However, it's a moot point as you won't get out of the first round. You're way too soft and weak. Although I'm no better, seeing how much time I've wasted trying to help you. How depressing. I still owe you for molesting you. Yeah, you do. I'll help you with the basics, but that's it. Aw. Alright, fine. Tell me about the Holy Grail. As the whole point of this place is to win the Holy Grail, it's probably a good place to start. Since I've never actually seen it in person, I can't fill you in on all the details. However, I can safely say that it does exist and its power to grant wishes is beyond doubt. Some Western plutocrats have tried to seal it away, others are here to obtain it for themselves. Even dismissing rumor, the power inherent in the Holy Grail is enough to change reality. And only the last master standing will enter the center of the Seraph and claim the Holy Grail. That is why all masters are enemies. Of course, this includes you and me. About Magi. As the Seraph is a virtual world, I'm sure you're aware that none of us have any substance. What's up, Shinnywing? Normal hackers enter systems using a program, but methods used by a Magus are far more advanced. A Magus will digitize their soul and insert themselves into virtual worlds such as this one. That lets them process data instantaneously, which would be impossible for normal hackers. Of course, you can't learn to become a Magus, you have to be born with the required abilities. Born into it. Yes, that sounds right. Magi are the ones who are born with the necessary circuit. There's also what's called third magic, which allows weaker Magi to digitize their souls. And that's about it. That's all we can learn.
So,
Just playing ZZZ. Fair enough. Is that all? If you say so, I have no problem stopping now. Well, that's everything then. Don't bother me with any more of your stupid, pointless questions. Remember that you and I are enemies. Even a temporary alliance between us would end badly. Instead of hanging out here, you should be using the time left to you more responsibly. All right. I think there's a side quest to accept from Taiga. And that's about all I can do now before going to the private room to progress the story. But real quick, I'm gonna save once again. I am going to take my last break of the stream before I continue. So give me like 3 minutes, you guys. I'll be back and we'll continue and do our first dungeon exploration. I kind of want to get to a second dungeon exploration if friggin' possible. That would give me an opportunity to maybe do a little bit of leveling between streams, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyways, BRB. All right, we're back. Ooh, I gotta hurry. I only got an hour. Gotta go play it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is gonna make me laugh the entire playthrough. For anyone who wasn't there for when we named our protagonist, I'll go ahead and show it after this. But if you watched my P5 playthroughs, you might have an idea. You were there for when I streamed P5, I should say. Hey, Bangin', you'd be willing to do your poor teacher a tiny little favor, right? Right? Sure. Thank you. You've made my day. So, my favorite kendo sword is up and disappeared. I stashed it in the supply room, but somehow it managed to find its way into the arena. Since I can't go in there, I need you to get my kendo sword and hand it over during the first round. I'm not here all the time, so you'll want to check back every now and then. Thanks again. For the record, in homage to old Persona 5 playthroughs, I named myself Banging Kawakami because someone mentioned it in chat and I thought it would be funny. We are now Banging Kawakami. Steve, what is it, Chinnywing? Do you have a problem with my character's name? Dude, who we banging? Kawakami, of course. Banging Kawakami always. Shit, this isn't my room, is it? It was the room past this. Oops. Kotomini told me classroom 2B was my private room. If I hold up my computer terminal, I can enter. I raise the terminal to the knob. I hear a low hum, or maybe an incantation. The door opens. Don't want my answer. I forgot. I actually have to use a bunch of items on a Saber playthrough. I don't remember if the other two servants also require it. But I remember, I say remember like I'm not staring at it right now. There is a bonus for using a certain amount of items on a Saber playthrough. If you use 100, you get a skill upgrade. Though that won't affect the early game, I might as well start working towards it. Lovely. Sure, whatever, Saber. I'm relieved at both Saber's good mood and the fact that my private room was prepared. I should come back here when I want to talk to Saber. Speak with her. I don't think she has any unique conversations right now, but that's okay. Talking to the servant is a fun time. Her sprite is so good. She's so pretty. Alright, we save. I'll probably check in on her regularly just to see whatever conversations might occur. I guess I can just save up here. I'm not worried about the Rani conversation I missed. Not important to the route, technically, so we're chilling. Alright, to the dungeon we go. The private room, you damn right. It's a shame the couch she's sitting on right now is actually just a bunch of desks covered in a sheet. Not the most comfortable. Master, once inside the arena, if you leave it, it will signal the end of the current day. I recommend you complete all your shopping and data gathering before entering the arena. I understand, thanks. It's okay. I'm not gonna shop for any items right this second. This is the arena entrance. Should I head inside? Yes. Go to the first floor. Oh boy, our first taste of real combat. The arena is where we are allowed to do battle whenever we feel the need to fight and train. Enemy programs created by the Seraph roam the arena, but fear them not, while I am by your side. Since this will be our first time in battle, I recommend not going any further than that enemy there today, which is the game's way of giving us a progress wall that we're not to pass yet. Which is fine. There is a reason for that. Revival Fountain, but only on easy mode. These literally do not exist when you're on normal, outside of this one. I think this one does exist on normal mode, and it's the only one in the entire game. So, luckily I am on easy, so we will have them throughout the dungeon. An enemy comes. If you're worried, you can use use an item by pressing square. Yeah, it's fine. If I'm ever injured in battle, please use whatever item is necessary to assuage both of our worries. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that because I've got a healing fountain. This is what normal combat is going to look like, and I'll explain a little bit of things as we see them. Because yes, on a first playthrough, you don't really have a good idea of what the enemy's going to do. If I remember correctly, this enemy frequently just spams one thing, but we'll try. Nope, it used break. Oh, fuck. Break, attack. Is it gonna do that again? Yeah, it is. Damn it. That's okay. So break, attack was its first combo. That didn't go great. In which case, I can make some inferences. Break, attack, which means for this, I'm gonna assume it's going to break, attack. No, wait, hold on. Before it did, yeah. If it's just gonna do the same thing over. It's gonna do break, attack again. That's my guess. Therefore, dude, having to keep track of enemy combos is the worst. They usually have like 3 or so patterns that they can use, and some of them look similar, and you just have to get. It's generally terrible. Also, we got an item here. I'm probably gonna use it immediately. 200. Purely because, like I said, there is rewards for using a certain number of items on Saber. They won't be relevant immediately, but I might as well start working towards them now. We cannot go particularly far today, so I'm just gonna slap all the enemy programs on the way and we should be fine. I did not see the prompt I was hoping to see after the end of last battle. I'm gonna assume he's doing the exact same thing as last time. It does appear that I am correct. Just to note, if you picked any other starter servant, this would not be a one-shot kill. And also, that damage I took in the last fight, if I was playing as caster, would have killed me. Ugh. Luckily, I'm not doing that, but I'm gonna be totally honest with you. If I was playing it as caster, I would have already game over. So, yeah, it's a good thing I'm not. The fact that it did like half Saber's HP means caster would be a crumpled heap on the floor. She would have died immediately. Great game. Yep. The combat is not good. Dude, did I miss the prompt last time, or Is it giving me extra options for some other reason? Sometimes after beating an enemy, it'll give you a prompt about enemy data acquired or something along those lines. And the more of those you see, the more frequently the prediction for what the enemy will use, reading enemy info, that one. So when it does that, you've increased the amount of like proficiency you have, I guess, against that particular enemy type. The fun thing about that is it does carry over across playthroughs, which is why future playthroughs will not be quite so grueling, because you'll see more of what the enemy is going to use. Eventually these enemies do respawn, but for this first day, I'm actually not sure it's worth it to even bother waiting for it. But you'll see what I mean on the next day when we get a few more kind of inklings to what the enemies are gonna do. We can't go past this thing today. We're not really supposed to, but we're level 3, I think. And that should be good enough for now. I'm not going to bother wasting any more time in the dungeon trying to refight those initial enemies. CBT feels more rewarding than this combat system. What is even CBT? I'm not even sure I know. But yeah, this combat system's, like I said, easily my biggest gripe about this game, and the reason I can't even really recommend it. But the story is actually quite good. I love the story for this game. It just sucks that playing it can be pretty miserable. Oh, I see. Here. Oh, that. I guess I just haven't seen it shortened to that. I went to that for some time, so I would say it is. At least the shrink I was seeing is pretty good. Oh, I was putting it like when I was a wee one, like, I don't know, age 13. Doesn't matter. I hate to tell you this, but I must. While we were in the arena, I found I could not access my full power. Because of your deficiencies, I am unable to manifest my full glory. Damn. Not that? Oh. I guess the thing I got up was not the thing you're talking about. That's fine. Nah, a quick Google search says cognitive behavioral therapy, which is typical therapy shit. Which, again, something I did long time. But do not worry yourself. Having my original abilities available for use is not important. There is no shame in being a novice. In fact, the possibilities of what you may become are exciting. Tomorrow we'll make another effort in the arena and we'll improve together little by little. It's a trivial matter. As long as you have me, we'll keep going. Ta-da! We've explored a whole 40% of the first floor already. Go us. Ow! Then yes, not that. Obviously. As I leave the classroom, I hear an electric noise. It seems to be coming from the portable terminal I stashed in my pocket. When I remove it, I see some words displayed on the screen. The next combatants will be announced on the second floor bulletin board. Combatant announcement? That must mean who I'm going to battle one-on-one with. I don't fully understand, but I ought to go to the second floor bulletin board to find out. Why is the skin on my elbow like super dry? It's not even both elbows, it's just my right one. Where's the bulletin board? In answer to the notice sent to my terminal, I reluctantly head to the bulletin board. Question, go for it. On that now dreaded white piece of paper posted there, 2 names have been written. The first name is my own, and the other name is Master Shinji Mato. Ah, crap. So you're my first opponent. I'm surprised you even managed to qualify. I have no idea, Shinny Wing, since I still haven't touched the co-op event. At some point during my initial shot, Shinji came up beside me. I probably won't be able to see the co-op stuff for ZZ until Wednesday. But I guess here, all things are possible. Hey, you might even be the most powerful Magus here. We're at different levels even though we're friends, but still, I should congratulate you. Hey, didn't you just barely squeak through the prelims? I guess you're a charity case. I guess being mediocre has its advantages. You get all of these handicaps and whatnot. Keep in mind that this tournament is all about true strength, so don't get too overconfident. And the guys who are running this are geniuses. Just look how intense the first round is. Come on, I mean, forcing people to give up friendships in order to win, that's pretty insane. Oh, what a cruel mistress fate can be, right? Even me, the strongest master here, is pained by this. After that little outburst, Shinji puts on a plastic smile and pats me on the shoulder. Well, let's keep things clean, okay? It should be a good fight. After all, you're a master too. When we see each other again, it will be as enemies. Don't let our former friendship hold you back. Ooh. Uh-oh. I have to fight Shinji and his servant. No matter how many times I repeat myself, the meaning of the words failed to register in my brain. Do I have to kill a friend, a fellow human being, when I don't have any clue as to why? This whole situation has fast become a nightmare. If Shinji is making light of the situation, why do I feel like I'm trapped in hell? Good question, me. Don't worry about it. Alright, let's go talk to someone. An electronic chiming sounds from my terminal. The primary cipher key has been generated. Primary cipher key? What is that supposed to be? I guess it's supposed to be a key of some kind. It'd be a good idea to ask that priest from before, Kodamine, about messages received via my terminal. He did say that all participants have the right to ask about any of the basic rules of the tournament. That means we gotta go ask Kodamine! What the fuck are we doing? Ah, the young master. I have a few things to say to you before you enter the arena. Earlier, the computer registered that your primary trigger has been generated, did it not? 2 triggers must be retrieved by the end of each week if you mean to participate in the tournament. Triggers? A trigger or cipher key is the key to the Colosseum and a way to Coal Week Masters. All masters are required to obtain them during the course of the preparation period. Fail to obtain the triggers in the allotted time and it will be game over, as it were. Don't look so worried, it's a simple task to prove you're ready for the elimination battle. 2. The arena itself will be divided into 2 floors, and 1 trigger or cipher key is generated per floor, so obviously that results in 2 per matchup. It's the job of the master to go and retrieve these cipher keys. For convenience, everyone refers to them as the primary trigger and the secondary trigger. You'll be notified through your terminal as they become available or something like that. I kind of mashed it a little too quickly on accident. Combat between masters is prohibited in the arena and on campus at all times. If for some reason a fight occurs, the system will shut it down within 3 turns. As a penalty, the status of any master caught fighting on campus will be downgraded. So basically, we are not supposed to fight in school. Cool. Downstairs we go. Hi, Shinji. Bang it. Going to get the trigger? Well, it sucks to be you. I'm going in right now, too. Total cretin like you won't be able to find it, but good luck anyway. What a tick. What a dick. Piece of shit. Immature though he may be, we cannot let such an insult pass. His total lack of respect and maturity is truly disgusting. He needs to be thoroughly beaten. Master, let us be on our way. Anything I do must be perfect down to the smallest detail. I will educate that vermin as to the extent of his sin against us with the blade of my sword. Alright, we'll get to that in a minute. But first... Oh no, that's what Sakurin does. I remember now. You visit her periodically. She's a sweetheart. And gives you items. Hey. Alright. Let's have another quick save. And make our way to the dungeon. Tried to buy the yakisoba breads. I guess I can. Why are you so intent on me buying the yakisoba bread? Here, I'll buy 2. No, because this is red Saber, a different one from the one you think of. There, I bought yakisoba bread. What was the point of that? I don't really need anything else. Some of the best healing items you can buy. To be honest, in this playthrough, I don't actually need healing items. We're being totally honest. Right. But the fountains do that. And since we're on easy, I kind of made it so items are not terribly useful. I kind of want to save up for the code cast anyway. But you're not wrong. They would be good if I wasn't on easy. That's the main thing. They're actually just not that good. For this playthrough, since we're on easy, I'm going to prioritize buying all the code casts because they carry over. Code casts are something you can bring across playthroughs, so they're my priority. That aura, exercise caution master. That weakling master and his servant are somewhere nearby. But this may be a good chance to obtain information. Why don't we follow them while they're still in the arena? Oh, and be warned that if you miss the chance to learn something, that information may be lost forever. Also, you can only enter the arena once per day. Make sure you thoroughly explore it a bit before exiting. And it looks like it's using the same pattern as before. So as we saw earlier when it said reading enemy info, before that I was only seeing 2. Now I'm seeing 3. I don't think each read effectively increases it by 1. I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. But for the most part, if you see it read the enemy info, it's a good thing. The big thing is, that's really nice, is that it does carry over across playthroughs. So any enemy info you read will remain that way when you start New Game Plus. So the more of those we see, the better. It's gonna go ahead and fight all of the same 3 as before. Yeah, that time we did not get the 3rd one. Because like I said, it's just a chance, not guaranteed. But it does increase it every time you get the enemy info. But yeah, for folks who are not glued in on Fate and are wondering why this Saber is red and not blue, you may also notice her sword is very different from that particular blue Saber that you may or may not be familiar with. Also green eyes. I don't think the Saber from Stay Night has green eyes. I don't remember, actually. At least not the same shade of emerald green, right? As blue. That's what I thought. Same dealio as before. This one seems to only have one pattern, which is nice. Or at least only one pattern that we've seen. Keeping it nice and simple. Do I read the enemy info? No, bummer. Oh, hi. Yeah, let's just go ahead and talk to him. Okay. There they are, that ignoble little weasel and his servant. Master, it is common to see your foes in the arena. You never know what will become of such a meeting, but perhaps we can learn more about their plan. That didn't casually respawn the enemies, did it? That'd be way too convenient. Yeah, it doesn't. That's okay. Day Night Faber looks more teal. It's bluer than these. This is an emerald green, obviously. But yes, different Saber. Bangin', you're late. Every time they say my name, it sounds like they're excited. They're just like, Bangin', you're here. You know, yo, what's good? While you were crawling along like the slug you are, I obtained the trigger. What's with that look? Your skills are pathetic compared to mine, so don't be so harsh on yourself. And speaking of you losing, let me introduce my servant. I'm going to win. It's not like it matters to me. You can't even get your cipher keys, so you might as well accept your game over right here and now. Seriously, feel free to turn him into a bullet-ridden corpse whenever you feel like it. Okay, but... Oh. What up, writer? I mean, random person, I have no idea who you are. Shit. Technically, this isn't fully voiced, so I should be reading it, but I'm okay. Your master is a social dunce, I agree. Fine, don't worry about it. Certainly a choice of clothing. Yeah. Let nerd bazongas mostly hang out, no big deal. Yo, wait, hold on. What if I want the reward? Oh. So, this sucks. And if she uses break a bunch of times, it'll be bad, but I want to take as little damage as possible. I do have some healing items, if it comes down to it. Did she just use break guard, break guard, break guard? That is unfortunate. Surely she'll do the same thing over and over again. This could be really bad, just in case. I'm gonna do this. Just be extra cautious. Yeah, I had a feeling that was gonna happen. I wouldn't have died, but... So she used Attack guard, attack guard? Her break guard. And then she used attack, break. Was it? I just do. I'm gonna toss an item at it. This is actually the third turn, so unless I really fuck this up, I should be okay. Yeah, we're fine. Uh-oh. Well, I did kind of fuck it up there. But it doesn't look like it'll kill, so it's chill. Looks like the Seraph is its eye on us. Well, there's no need to take him out right now anyway. You know, I like seeing you grovel in the dirt like trash. Beg hard enough, and I might make you my underling. Who knows? I might even share some of the prize money with you. Ha 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 ha. Alright, bye. Don't pursue this. Oh, what a powerful attack. However, it was foolhardy of him to exhibit the extent of his power merely for sport. The servant uses projectile weapons. It's possible that her class might be archer, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, maybe she's an archer. Because I obviously have no idea what her class is. Fuck. I have to be careful about that. Yeah, I thought archers used swords. What a weird concept. By investigating the arena, you can find info on your foes or learn ways to gain advantage over them. Are you not glad that you inspected the arena as I instructed? This is how you succeed in the Holy Grail War. I guess you're right. A suitable response, Praetor. But do not feel the need to hold back in your praise of me. Keep in mind that this conflict is also a race against time. We may not see our foes tomorrow, so some information may only be available on a specific day. It is imperative you actively explore the arena often. To be fair, knowing this particular Saber servant, it would not surprise me at all if she was either drunk or high or both. Just saying. Historically, it would make sense. Whoa, hold on. Whoa, don't spoil it. It's not. Welcome back, Avalanche. No one saw that, right? I'm trying not to spoil things, though I did slip up earlier. Ah, fuck. I don't know what your pattern is gonna be. I'm just gonna drop in all attacks and hope it works. Oh, what? Yeah, exactly. That's right. No one saw it. We're chilling. Ah, fuck. Attack, guard, break. Fuck you. No, wait. Guard. Oh, jeez. No, we only know her as Saber right now. In this game, the servants don't tend to give their names until several weeks in. Archer might be the exception for reasons I will not explain right now, but for sure, with the Saber and Caster servants, they do not share their name for a few weeks. We're having fun not saying the name of servants when we very obviously know them. Yes, exactly. Archer is a fucker. A little bit. Well, like I said, he's the only one. Archer is the only one at the start who asks you, are you my master? If you tell all three of them no, Saber is just like, oh, it's okay. You're stupid and don't know what you're talking about. I am your servant. You are my master, and is like okay with it. Caster is just like, haha, you're so silly. playing a prank on me like that. You're my master. If you tell Archer no, he's just like, oh, okay then. I guess I'll fuck off. And then he leaves. And you get a game over. It's so funny. Oh, I bet, Avalanche. May have spent too much time in the Nostiverse wiki. It's fine. But yeah, Archer is the only one who comes up and is just like, oh, you said no? All right, later. Fuck you, I guess. Oh, I bet. That one's on my list. I got a couple of games. Oh, fuck. Right. New opponent. I don't fucking know this thing's pattern, dude. I don't think this is it, but I'm gonna do it anyway just to see. It might actually be right. Oh, shit. I need to guard, break, break. Is this how it is? Oh man, I'm going off of like memory here, trying to remember some of these patterns in the early dungeon. Oh, sorry, I went off a tangent. The games I ended up getting to lower the break, I ended up picking up the new Fantasy Life game, in quotation marks new. It's not new anymore. It came out like last year, which I was really excited for because I like that series. I really loved the 3DS one. And then I actually picked up Time Stranger. So someday I'll finish that one. But yeah, Armored Core 6 is on my list at some point. I honestly really think I'll have fun with that one. I just haven't picked it up. Oh, I had heard things about the first boss in Armored Core. Sick. Funnily enough, I played some of the earlier Armored Core games for the lulz, because they were like on the retro replay nonsense for PSN. They're a bit of a bitch. Ooh, are we coming up on the first real thread of this floor? Not yet. New game plus the Jesus, nice. I bet. Dude, I still haven't even beaten Elden Ring the first time. So, God, what was it before? It was guard, break, 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 guard, break, right? Was this, or was it break, guard, break, 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 guard, break? No, I think it was guard, break, 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 guard, break. I think this is it. No, it was break, 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 attack. Break? What? Dude, fuck me. You know what? I don't even care. Fine. This is wrong, but okay, so guard, break, break. I was right the last time. He just switched it up on me. What a fucker. Yeah. The pattern I used last time was correct. It just didn't work because he switched it up. What a sack of shit. There we go. I love the combat in this game. It's so much fun. Yay. I didn't read the enemy data that time either. God damn it.
これはいいものだ。
Actual threat is this next one. Yeah. This sack of shit could very easily kill me. So I did. That's why I got the sword. We're chilling. Rock, paper, scissors combat is fun, said nobody ever. Yeah. I'm gonna assume it's this, but I could be wrong. Shit. Guard, attack, attack. And then he finished it off with a... Oh. Is it? No. This? Nope. Guard, guard, attack. 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 Guard. Okay. So it's this. Or not. Guard, guard. Whatever, we beat it. That was the strongest enemy on this floor. Fuck that thing. Okay. We got our cipher key. We're chilling. So this is the trigger. Coach Mini said that there are 2 per round, so do not forget to obtain the second one. God, we're coming up on the end of stream time, and I would have really liked to get into this second area of the arena first. Bummer. I'm actually gonna backtrack the other way. Fight enemies back on the way out. Never mind, I changed my mind. I'm just gonna leave. Ooh. Just use the save states coming. Fair. Did I save before we entered the dungeon today? I feel like I did. Did we unlock leveling up yet? That makes sense, Avalanche. We failed miserably today, but don't let that bring you down. If we could get information on them, many plans could be made to get them to taste my blade. One cannot be a hero without their name being known. That is why I take great pains to hide my identity. Getting information on the enemy's identity while veiling my own is a sure road to victory. Don't worry, we're actually making fantastic progress. But we don't know a whole lot. I love how the class is just Archer ? Fine, don't worry about it. We're chilling. Save. After school. Hold on. Oh, what is the dates here? This is just prior to us entering the dungeon, I think. Yes. All right. New day. Master, I informed you yesterday in the arena that knowledge of the enemy's tactics is key. For that reason, you must drain the campus of information every single day. When you enter the arena, you forfeit any further investigation for that day. Humans do not replicate their actions, so what you miss one day is gone forever. So make a habit of investigating campus and listening to the others before entering the arena. Do you understand? I do. Then let us initiate today's investigation. So, while I could investigate today, I think this is where we're gonna call the first VOD of this. I'm probably gonna do a little bit of off-screen grinding if I can. It won't be much, because we still, as far as I can tell, can't even properly level up. I'll be absolutely sure on that before I stop. Never mind, I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I'm just gonna hide the game. We will continue where this left off next time. I am going to actually end the VOD here. So, see you later, VOD crowd.